All right, sir, you're good to go. Happy holidays.
You mean Merry Christmas?
No, happy holidays. I mean, you can't really think your religion's better than the rest of them, can you?
Hell yes, I can.
Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Oh, come thou rod of Jesse, free thine own from Satan's tyranny. From depths of hell thy people say, and give them victory o'er the grave. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Come thou day spring, come and cheer our spirits by thine advent here. Disperse the gloomy clouds of night, and death's dark shadows put to flight. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. Bit of a last minute getting everything together. I'm going to be traveling all day tomorrow, which means that everything you see right now needs to be packed up, put into that giant crate behind me, and heading to Washington for a couple weeks, so that'll be super fun. But, yeah, we got lots of stuff to talk about. Not a very uplifting Monday. Not a great start to the week. Couple wild things out there. I see lots of happy Hanukkahs in the chat. HH for short. Happy Hanukkah out there. Just seems unnecessary. No, I think it's, again, I can't hear it, so for me it's perfectly fine. I just selected a random one.
But before we get into everything else, we are Charlie Kirk, Richard Cranium. How's it going, homie?
I'm all right. How's everybody doing?
John's a real voice. True. You're looking a little rough there, bud. Charlie Thumb.
Yeah, that's about how I feel.
That is a terrifying image, but it is quite funny. Very,
It is.
very funny. All right. Well, how about what should we start with? What's funny? We should do something that's a little bit lighter to start out with, rather than multiple mass shootings and different things going on this week. Nothing very fun to talk about, unfortunately. Usually as you get closer to SHOT Show, there's more like gun news happening, but apparently they decided no, not this week.
Different type of gun news.
Yeah. Well, when it's technically still gun news, but the ongoing drama between bro-vet drama, still fun, right? That's always fun. Between what's his face, Dan Cringe Shaw, and CIA asset Sean Ryan. I just thought this was really funny. The year is 2030. Instead of war with China, all you got was the great bro-vet civil war of 2025. Count Palatine, Sean Ryan, blessed be his name, joined forces with the Willink Caliphate after fracturing from Lord Crenshaw, the smug. In response, Lord Crenshaw married Ilhan Omar in order to form Griftis Americanus. Sounds reasonable. An equitable bipartisan party to restore the American quote-unquote idea. Your feet crunching in the snowy rubble of Minneapolis, Mogasato, At 0600, you hear the Palantir call to prayer, praying outside the old immigration office. 3 Crenshadeen approach your patrol, each wearing a black eye patch of their lord. You yell to stop, and they start running. Your blood is rushing, feet cold. You pull your rifle to the ready just to watch the group explode. You scan left and see a squad of foreign Africans against Griftus, bag for short. They stop, give you the Willink Roman salute, and return to the rubble from which they came. All quiet on the Magasotan front. You whisper to yourself as the smell of curry and naan begin to take over the old city. Nobody knew that the future could be this gay and cringe, but here we are, persisting anyways. Future lore, true. This is like, not 2025, probably 2030, 2035, somewhere in that range.
Would this qualify as blue on blue violence?
Man, I mean, what do we got here? So we got Sean Ryan and the Willink Caliphate versus Dan Crenshaw and Ilhan Omar and their ilk. So I don't know at this point.
All I know is friendly fire is turned on.
Yeah 2032 is probably true. But you know what, if they say this is the real gun meme review, yes. You know who was really good at memeing guns, like just consistently, just constantly, despite it, you know, ostensibly being part of the military? The Navy just can't stop. They just can't stop. No matter what they put out for marketing, this is the US 7th Fleet, which, I mean, listen, if China's looking at this stuff, it's like, all right, you know, our small arms might be cringe and gay copies of everybody else's stuff out there, but at least we can grip the things, right? We have the best of the best. This is what they decided to go with for their marketing materials, US 7th Fleet. We have just, there's so much wrong. There's so much wrong. I don't really know where to start. So with this image here, starting from right to left. All right, gentleman has one pant leg rolled up considerably higher than the other, both ill-fitting. His eyes are closed, and he's using like grinding safety glasses, which is fine. You can do that. Now his grip is very low, but it's one of the best out there.
It's acceptable for the group.
Yeah, it's unfortunately one of the best out there. Okay, so we move over, and his eyes are also
bad.
His eyes are also closed. If you can't tell, his eyes are closed.
I did not catch that on the first, but now that I'm seeing it more blown up, yeah, they are in fact closed.
His eyes
are
closed.
I do not see any spent casings.
And maybe it's just when the picture got snapped, or maybe he's staring into the sun and he's like, guys, I really should have brought sunglasses because the other guys have sunglasses on.
I mean, I guess if he's in the bottom of the ship and he comes up for this photo,
maybe he's just squinting really hard, safety squint, because it looks like if we move one guy over, so now we have the African gentleman.
Maybe
to
he's
the
just
left,
half Asian. I don't.
yeah, maybe. But so the grip is a little worse because I actually don't know where his other thumb is, so I'm not sure what he's doing here. But it's again bad, but not horrifying. The way his face is like scrunched up, it makes me think that he's closing one eye while aiming down there, which you can do if you need to with iron sights. You really shouldn't shoot like that, but I mean, you can if you're bullseye shooting. I suppose it's fine. I know for some people that helps, but yeah. So he's sitting there scrunching up his face. His uniform looks a little better. At least his pant legs are even. One step to the left, we probably have the worst grip and shooting stance of all time. He's like twisted into it with one knee, like twisting his body with his grandma steering wheel position of a grip on the gun. It's kind of perusing the target. And then moving one step over, we have a literal child. This is not an adult woman. No, none of you, you're probably typing wood right now, but this is not an adult woman here. This thing is like sub 5 feet, right? It has to be sub 5 feet. And it looks like she's aiming into the stratosphere as of right now. And then the two gentlemen on the left, they look fine, I suppose. They're a little too far away to tell, and they're not, outstretched about to shoot. But all of their photos are just terrible. Like every every single time. It's like teacup grip, or more likely, this was a higher grip. And then the left hand just completely separated as they're shooting, right? So the gun's recoiling completely in the right hand. The left hand's just kind of hanging out, doing its thing. It's chilling. You know, it's there. It's moral support more than anything. But yeah, super scrunched
Moral
up,
support?
one eye. What's up?
Oral support? What?
I said moral support.
Oh,
I said moral support. Moral support. Okay. Probablys would. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Also, the kit. You know, now this is the Navy, right? They not really planning on doing too much engagement with small arms, but again, it's just, you know, you're ostensibly part of the military. Maybe you should be slightly proficient. And this is what they. Okay, this isn't my fault. They chose to put this out as marketing materials. All right, they chose to do this, not me. But yeah, the mag pouches, cutting edge COP technology from 1994. No idea what these are, just generic like clip mount molly pouches. Not even molly pouches. I think they're actually just built into the belt itself. Yep. And this is what the US 7th Fleet decided to run with, you know, shooting at massive oversized human targets at like 3 feet away. I do think it'd be really cool to do like training exercises on an aircraft carrier just because it's like unique, you know, because you could shoot out into the ocean basically as far as you want, not going to do anything, no backstop needed. The ship's kind of swaying as you're shooting and moving and stuff like that. It's cool. It's a cool concept. It's very very aesthetic. It's like Call of Duty maps set on a boat. It's cool. It's a nice backdrop for the carnage. Yeah. Well, listen, if we're going to be going up against UN forces, I would prefer a higher level of proficiency. Okay. Aircraft carrier vibes, true. It's vibes. All right. Well, still more cringe before we get to the unfortunate updates. This news article, quote unquote news. I say news. Journalists are never doing themselves any favors. It's always bad. They can't help themselves, right? Free SBRs are coming. Free? Oy vey, free, you say? Free SBRs are coming. A horrible idea. This is posted on Guns America by Aaron Goodfellow. What do you mean it's a terrible idea? Like, what? Do you realize what publication you're writing for, Mr. Goodfellow? Which it's like, Goodfellow is a very, very funny name. It's like being a little defensive about your nature, right? You're like, I'm a good fellow. Yes. I named myself Goodfellow. I'm the good guy. I named myself John Good Guy. Just so you know that I'm on the right side. Yeah, John Good Guy is my name. For sure. $0 NFA transfers sound like an amazing idea until you hit the real costs. Before you turn that braced AR into an SBR, read the travel rules, trust traps, penalties, and long-term risks that most shooters ignore. It's true. You're too stupid to be trusted with an SBR. That's why that $200 tax stamp was a good thing, to filter out all the poor, stupid people from having access to these SBRs. All right, fair enough, you know. If that's the way you feel about your constituents, that's, you know, a take one could have. Not great, but fair enough. The $0 hook and the catch. Oh, thank you for that, Polly. Ever since the National Firearms Act of 1934, NFA items, including short-barreled rifles and silencers, have had a tax of $200. That money, 90 years ago, was equivalent to almost $5,000 today. Don't remind me, as we have an imminent blue wave in the next 2 to 4 years, don't remind me that that would be equivalent to $5,000. And if they reinstate the tax just at a to keep up with inflation, that it would be $5,000 per suppressor and per tax stamp. Don't remind me of that, please. All right. That is all about to end thanks to the big, beautiful bill passed earlier this year. Starting on January 1st, 2026, you will no longer need to pay $200 to SBR your rifle. It will cost $0, but still requires registration. Great news, right? We can register SBRs and take our braces off and live happily ever after, says Lee Corso would say. Not so fast, my friend. There are a bunch of reasons not to trade your AR pistol for an SBR. Here are the top ones in no particular order. So now these are just, there are downsides to registering an SBR. there are no downsides of the tax going from $200 to $0, unless we're talking about like some meta, like, okay, they could use that logic to adjust the tax up in the future because we adjusted it down, so they can adjust it up, right? There is some meta reasons why you might not want to do that, right?
Is
But
there
there are
any
always downsides.
downside to just leaving a pistol brace on?
Well, it's a pistol brace, and pistol braces are gay, so I mean, there's that.
I mean, yeah, but
Well, and you say like people are like, oh well, pistol braces don't have any downsides. It's like, well, the ATF like tried for years to make all sorts of problems with braces. So I mean, nothing is above legislation or above regulation to these people, right? They don't care. Permanent registration as an NFA item. True. None of us are selling our guns anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Out of state travel in ATF form. Listen, I always follow all rules and regulations when it comes to traveling state to state with SBRs. Always recommend doing that. Out of state travel, yet, because technically you're supposed to tell the ATF, hey, by the way, I'm traveling here and there with a registered SBR. Loss of your options and configuration lock. I disagree with that. You actually have way more options because with a pistol, there's certain things you can and can't do to it. With an SBR, as long as you retain the ability to switch it back to its original barrel length, like you can do whatever the heck you want. So I have 3, 4, 5 SBR lowers, and I just do whatever the heck you want with them. AR-15s are Legos for men. Ha ha ha! He said the thing. He said the line. Or the male version of Barbie dolls. There are infinite options to accessorize and modify weapons, especially AR-15s. Once you make an SBR, it has to remain in the configuration that you made it in. That's not true. That's just lies. He's just completely incorrect about that. Congratulations. Or you have the ability to return it immediately. Yeah, you just need to be able to, if it's registered as an 11.5, you need to just keep an 11.5 round, which everybody has one. This includes caliber and barrel length. With a pistol brace AR, this is a non-issue. Change uppers and calibers as you wish. Again, you do the same thing with an SBR. You do the exact same thing with an SBR. Loaning and trust hassles. This is a big one. Unless your SBR is on a trust and the person you want to loan is on the trust, you cannot loan out the SBR. This applies to your kids, dads, brothers, and everyone. As the owner of the SBR, you have to be present for someone else to use it. You're risking federal penalties if you violate this and get caught. Yeah, there are additional restrictions that come with SBRs, but again, I don't think if you already have pistols, then who cares? If you already have SBRs, then who cares? But if you're planning on buying an SBR, right, because like MP5s or a lot of PCCs that are designed as SBRs, basically just meaning that they have a barrel length shorter than 16 inches and you want to put a real stock on it, that's where this really shines. If you like your 11.5 with a pistol brace and it does everything you need it to do because pistol braces are 99.9% as good as stocks, like who cares? Just run it. Doesn't really matter. Lost or stolen NFA items. I mean, yeah, technically there's like additional things with a lost or stolen NFA item, but same thing with a firearm. You're supposed to report a lost or stolen firearm as well. Potential future risk, but that's the same with pistol braces. So that's kind of a non-argument because there's a potential future risk with pistol braces. Again, if you get a Democrat in the White House in 28, if you get a Democrat-controlled Senate and Congress, then yeah, you could see pistol braces go the way of the dodo bird. Whereas inversely, if you already have registered SBRs, they probably wouldn't be able to take those away because they are actually registered to you, right? Versus they could do pistol braces with the wave of the pen. Basically, resale is a mess, yes, but if you're SBRing something, you're probably not planning on selling it, right? So much like a suppressor in that way. Although maybe now with the $0 tax stamp, you might actually be able to sell it easier, right? Because there's less burden. Vertical foregrips on base pistols. I don't really care about vertical foregrips all that much. Pistols are legal. Yeah, there are some legalities, some certain locations where pistol ARs are legal, but SBRs aren't. So again, it really depends where you are for that. But yeah, it's just it's mostly a nonsense article. It's like everybody knows it's the title's complete clickbait. Free SBRs are coming, a horrible idea. I absolutely disagree with that. You can get factory SBRs of all of your cool rifles and not have to pay an additional $200. Very cool. If you want to have an SBR for whatever reason, you can do it again with $0. And if you're the type of guy, and there's lots of guys in chat as well that are like, oh, I'm never going to register one of my guns, even though they're all registered anyways, and the feds know exactly what you have. If you've ever typed anything online about them at any point, then yeah, they know what you have, where it's at, all that sort of fun stuff. So for me, it's like, registering a firearm is nothing, right? I mean, with the surveillance state that we have, with any gun forum you've ever been on talking about what you've purchased as if they don't have access to your credit card history or anything else like that. Like, they know what you have. It's
The only
annoying.
time
It's
that they
annoying, but it's
don't
true.
is if you bought everything, including the 80% at a gun show with cash, and have never been online.
Well, right, but that's the thing. If you're in this chat talking right now, then you're already on. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but you're already on the list. All right. If you're in the chat talking, complaining about government surveillance, well, you're he already. I'm afraid to tell you that. Well, talking about, yeah, it's hi Palantir. True, Palantir, tax funded by me and you, bro. You can't wait.
I have a message for Palantir.
Very true. Where did you have that sounder? Is that in our sounders?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Also, they have this Christmas pack. Is this Christmas pack any good?
Do you not know?
Where'd it go? Nope, that's not it. Oh, that's not even cool. Cozy night? No. They have overlays? What overlays did they give us? I don't know. I'm not feeling too Christmassy. Yeah, that does it actually. That's good.
That works.
That puts me in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, I hope our tips are touching on the government watch list. Or I mean our names are touching. Sorry. All right. Well, unfortunately, we have to get into the big news, the conspiracy theories, the effects that these we'll talk about the gun control aspect, we'll talk about the shooter aspect, we'll talk about the psyop element of it, we'll talk about the possibility of false flags, possibility of what's the other word, crisis actor. Now, the crisis actor one, I'm actually going to be a wet blanket on. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but a lot of people fell for the crisis actor meme, and I think it's completely fake. I think that it blew up. It blew up and it got very popular. I saw a tweet floating around with like 150,000 likes about the whole crisis actor thing, and I think it's fake. Yeah, I know. I'm going to disappoint some people in the chat. Not saying that crisis actors aren't real. There are absolutely crisis actors and people that are put in to do false flags and to bolster the narrative, stuff like that. But in this specific instance, at least the one that's blown up is pretty much fake.
Before we get into it too deep here, can we talk about the name of the location?
Bondi Beach. I mean, it's I don't know where it got its name from. I haven't looked into the history of the beach itself, but it is funny that it's Bondi Beach and we have Pam Bondi. You know, you could say, oh, it's predictive programming, government.
We have our own Bondi Beach.
Do we in Florida? Is it named after Pam Bondi?
I was calling her a bitch, but
Bondi Beach and we have Bondi Bitch. You know what I'm saying? Basically the same thing.
There might actually be a Bondi Beach.
You see, I'm too short. It went over my head. All right, man, let's rise up. So this happened. Unfortunately, over the weekend, Bondi Beach shooting live updates. Australia vows crackdown on guns, anti-Semitism after shooters kill 15. You know, after any of these mass casualty events, they're always like, we're gonna go after anti-Semitism and guns. And it's like, what about the perpetrators? They're like, that's racist of you. How dare you? How dare you insinuate we do something against the perpetrators of such a crime? No. We're going to go after anti-Semitism while importing millions of Muslims who, you know, you can read the hadiths of what they think about the other religions of the world or some of this other stuff going on. You know, it's just a little silly. It seemed to never go after the source for some reason. All right. Officials are considering further tightening the country's strict gun laws after what they said was a terrorist attack targeting Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah. What's today, the second day of Hanukkah? Third day of Hanukkah? I don't pay attention. All right.
You haven't lit your candles yet?
No, unfortunately, I have not. Dude, I should have put that one video clip in the intro. I forget the name of the movie, but it's like Santa Claus and he like stabs a Jew to a wall with a menorah. It's a very funny. You should look that up on YouTube right now. And Santa attacks Jews or something like that. Just Google that. It'll be good for your YouTube search algorithm. and then we'll play it on stream. It's quite funny.
Yeah, my Google search history had already plugged.
Yeah, Erica Kirk also using her dead husband to push anti-Semitism. So
What?
yeah, it's like, okay, all right. What we know, at least 15 people were killed in a shooting at Hanukkah event at Australia's Bondi Beach in Sydney. Police said more than 24 others remain hospitalized, with some of them in critical condition. So this is the biggest mass casualty event in Australia since the shooting that basically got rid of all of their guns. Officials declared the shooting a terrorist attack, and victims said it was designed to target Jewish people. Victims included a Holocaust survivor, a 10-year-old, and 2 rabbis. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Holocaust ended more than 80 years ago now.
I believe that is correct, yeah.
More than 80 years ago. So that means this person had to have been a child? Like a baby? Having a baby during the Holocaust? Right?
I guess. I mean,
Second generation Holocaust survivor. Yeah. Like, okay, you know, he would have to be like a baby during the Holocaust. All right. Fair enough. 10-year-old, 2 rabbis. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the government would consider further tightening Australia's already strict gun laws and aim to eradicate anti-Semitism, a growing issue in the country. Man, I wonder if there's ever any reasons for this, or do they just continue to punish people who talk out against certain actions? Because it seems like they never go after any of the root causes of this sort of thing. They just kind of like, anybody who talks about it gets banned. Or gets jailed, right? That's always fun as well. So it's like Muslim shoots up a Jewish convention, a Jewish party, and it's like, all right, gun control and anti-Semitism. Like, I feel like there's a more direct path to fixing these issues. Ahmed Al-Ahmad has been hailed as a real-life hero for disarming one of the gunmen and has successfully undergone his first operation after having been shot during the struggle. So I got to be careful here with the video because it shows them.
Jewish community in mourning and the nation in shock after a seaside celebration of the Festival of Light became one of the darkest days in Australian history.
Now, I'm not sure exactly what rifle he was using, but it's a straight pull magazine fed bolt action with what looks like a Romeo 5 Gen 1 sitting on top, or like a Aimpoint T1 because of the turrets. But it seems that the man was incredibly proficient. He was also wearing a bandolier of shotgun shells, as well as they had what looked to be a semi-auto shotgun, like a hunting shotgun, like a 24, 26-inch shotgun. And I believe there's at least 2 shooters. There's been speculation on a 3rd shooter. And it took, they rampaged over 20 minutes, which we'll get into in just a minute. They rampaged over 20 minutes on this beach, while there were 5 police officers present, and none of them intervened until a detective showed up and engaged the first man. And then the other one was tackled by a bystander who happened to also be a Muslim.
2 gunmen opened fire on a peaceful Hanukkah gathering. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation says police identified the gunmen as Sajid Akram, who died at the scene, and his 24-year-old son Naveed, who remains in custody.
Yeah, so father-son combo. Well, if I said cousin father, it's like, well, yeah. Father-son identified as the Bondi Beach shooting suspects. They are, of course, both Muslim, although I did see multiple reports claiming that they were white, which is odd.
CNN at it again.
Well, it wasn't CNN this time. I think it was pamphlets or some other foreign news, but it was like far right white extremists shot up a Jewish celebration on Bondi Beach in Australia. Now, according to American crime statistics, these guys probably would be labeled as white. Like, let's be real. That's just how it goes.
At the hospital.
Let me make it a little smaller. YouTube, don't kill me.
Authorities saying the younger man's name had come up in a previous investigation into.
Yeah, and they just get to Sandra about this beach. I believe it was targeted directly because they knew the celebration was going on. They fire like 60, 70 rounds in that 20 minutes. Keep in mind that it's a bolt action rifle and a semi-auto shotgun with, I think, a 5-round tube, something like that.
It was still 20 minutes.
Well, there were multiple female cops at the scene, and they did nothing.
Reassuring.
2019. The massacre claimed 15 lives, a 10-year-old girl, a former police officer, 2 well-known rabbis.
The life was like leaving him, and then he just went.
Also killed an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor who came
Okay, so he was 87, so he would be a child at the time.
to this idyllic spot to find peace, and whose last act was to shield his wife. The horror attack has left dozens in the hospital. But officials say it would have been worse if not for Ahmed Al-Ahmed, the Sydney shopkeeper and Syrian immigrant.
Now, they said that this guy got shot twice, and he heroically disarmed the man, took his shotgun from him. I don't know.
I didn't see.
Did he get
any-
shot from the son? Did the son turn around and then engage him? Because this is the father down here on the ground after being disarmed. And then did the son shoot this man? And that's how he got his 2... because this man allegedly got shot twice, right? So-
maybe, but I'm not sure. I didn't see any injuries from him, and all of the information that I had didn't show anything. I did see the report of that, but I didn't actually see.
Right,
him.
because you can see him climbing up here. I can probably get away with this for like a second.
But-
And he just goes up there, bear hugs him, wrestles the gun out, and he seems... At no point here does he get shot by the old man. That
No.
just doesn't happen. He never even has the chance to. And he looks fine at that point in time. So I think that the son must have saw that his father had gotten disarmed and then turned around and shot him.
Maybe
That's
gonna be
unless the cops shot him.
that's what.
Which
the
was
one
he
time that
was
they
he
do
what, oh
engage.
my gosh, was he really shot by the cops? I mean, that's the thing. There are so many angles of this because in 2025, that's the thing to do. Anytime any event is going on, you're going to have like 100 different angles of the same thing. So like somebody from an apartment complex or a hotel overlooking the beach, they're just looking down and filming the whole thing. Listen, nobody has any guns. Nobody can stop anything. There's no chance of a bystander doing anything remotely positive. They can't.
Well, this
in the
is their self-defense, is to
Yeah, see, and then it shows that him a little bit later on getting shot in the shoulder here. So the son must have turned around and engaged him. Or again, a police officer responding to a shooting sees a man with a gun, and again, this is Australia. It can be reasonably believed that the man with the gun is the shooter, I suppose, right? Because you just have a much less likelihood of a heroic passerby just having a shotgun in his trunk or something.
Yeah, the second that he got the gun away from the other guy, though, like he held him at gunpoint for a minute, then the guy ran off, and then he dropped the gun and held his hands up in the air, like "Do not shoot." So I don't know.
Well, yeah, because they said he got shot twice and he was undergoing surgery for his different
Hospital
wounds.
after being shot, his parents proud. Hailed as a hero around the world.
And saved a lot of lives, so very brave person.
Some here asking how the alleged gunman amassed an arsenal in a country famous.
Okay,
An
so in
arsenal.
Australia, you're still allowed to have firearms, right? So I think semi-auto shotguns for sporting purposes, right? Hunting rifles are completely allowed, of course. And it was literally these aren't like weapons of war. This is like a sporting / hunting shotgun and a straight pull bolt action rifle, like the
Well, but-
most basic rifles possible, which is why when they say that they're going to be pushing for even stricter gun control laws, like they have gun control laws the same way that like the UK has for the most part, because you can still own bolt action rifles and you can still own shotguns and stuff like that in the UK, right? And it's very similar. So if they're going to make it even worse, usually what that means is, oh my gosh, You got to stop putting stuff like that on screen, Light Spore. Otherwise, you're going to get the channel taken down, dude. I can't have the pop-ups there if you're going to write full-on slurs, dude. It's just going to get the channel taken down. It's funny, right? It's funny, but it will get the channel taken down. And then you can't do it anymore, right? So I'm looking at you, Light Sport. Appreciate it, though. But, yeah. So, I mean, when they're going to push for even more gun control when they already have removed most of the guns, rather than addressing the root cause, you know, because that's the thing. It's like a good.
I wonder if they'll go after milsurp now, because most straight pulls are military surplus, like the K11 and K31, and they are extremely accurate, right?
Gun culture in the UK and other places is different because firearms are so expensive and they're more tailored to like heirloom pieces or hunting pieces. You can find a lot of European only brands that are straight pulls, and they really love them there for, you know, hunting applications or for other things. And guns are usually very expensive. So like here, you have a slew of incredibly cheap bolt action rifles, right? You can walk into your local gun store with $250 and walk out with probably a bolt action rifle and a Tasco scope on top. Not so over there, right? If you're already going to be spending £1,000, €1,000, whatever the Australian dollar is worth, which is like 40 cents on the dollar or something. If you're already spending a lot of money, they get nicer rifles, usually speaking. There's less cheap crap.
For strict gun control. Australia's Prime Minister today says laws may need to be even tougher and that more will need to be done to help the nation's Jewish community. A prominent Jewish leader here, whose friend died in the attack, says his community has been warning the government of a dangerous rise in anti-Semitism.
I can't imagine a time when the Jewish community will feel safe without looking over their shoulders.
The vigil continues at Bondi.
There's actually an entire country designed to keep you guys safe for you, actually, if you wanted to live there.
As those here grieve that the most famous beach in Australia is now also the most notorious. And as you can see, the tributes behind me are growing as people come to stand with those who lost their lives and to find a way forward. Craig?
It's such a tragedy. Sarah James there in Sydney. Sarah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, now, Richard. So there's this sort of like reverse escalation that happens with gun control and certain access to firearms or whatnot. So, for instance, when they don't have guns, usually they switch to what? Knives. Knives is the next thing.
Knives and acid.
Knives, acid, whatever it might be. When you ban knives, well, actually, yeah, it's probably vehicles next, because I think the other biggest terror attacks in Europe and those areas where there's very strict gun control, it's usually vehicles, right? Vehicles is probably the next biggest one,
and then they jump out with a knife.
Right. So it probably goes, but in terms of like damage or like priority, it's like guns. If there's no guns, trucks. If there's no trucks, knives, or a combination of the two. And then it's like hammers, rape gangs, all the sort of stuff down the list, right? So you can regulate all of those things, of course you can, but it's not going to fix the root cause of a lot of these. Like in Germany, they had to shut down all of their Christmas festivals and stuff like that for fears of attacks. So instead of deporting the possible attackers, they just shut down all of your traditions and history and, you know, things that might benefit the nation. Now, as a little bit of a thought experiment, I was like, okay, if guns are the problem, because I saw a lot of people in the US, a 747 is a big vehicle. That's true. That's very true. Stabby McStabwood. Actually, that's true. Yeah. A 747 is a very big vehicle. Very big. Probably can't take down the trade centers, funnily enough. However, let me see here. So actually I got to take out the overlay. Actually, no, I can just make it a little smaller. There we go. Okay. So total number of school shooting deaths in the US, Richard. Now, I looked this up today just to see like how many it was. The most liberal numbers coming from Everytown for Gun Safety is from 1966 to 2022 is 721 school shooting deaths. 721. If you go through a few different lists, that's going to change. Washington Post has it 218. National Center for Education Statistics has 131 from the year 2000. Wikipedia lists 278. But let's just go with the highest number. It's 721 victims killed in school shootings since 1966. Now, that's still a lot of people, right? 721 people. That's a lot. But if we broaden it up even more, total number of mass shooting deaths in the US. And the reason why I think that this is interesting is for the people that are always calling for gun control. It's the guns, it's the guns, it's the guns, it's the guns, blah, 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 blah. Total number of mass shooting deaths, according to the Rockefeller Institute from 1966 to 2025, is 1,728 people in mass shootings. 1,728 people over that, 80-year period. Sorry, 60-year period. And then there's based on the FBI data, it's a little bit lower, but that's only counting from 1982 onward. So again, taking their most liberal numbers, 1,728. Now that's a big problem. People are saying it's the guns, ban all the guns, lots of silly things going on. Because Muslim did something bad in Australia, we need to remove guns from law-abiding citizens in the US. And that's always what they do. They go after to punish the law-abiding citizen rather than, the criminals, right? Rather than going for the base root of these problems is maybe these criminals shouldn't be here in the first place and they wouldn't be able to do crime, right? Because
something else that I think
you could reduce. Let me get this out. You could reduce Islamic terrorist attacks to 0, aka Poland, if you simply don't have any Islamic people in your country. It's true. I mean, I know that is wild, but you could actually remove Islamic terror attacks to 0. There simply aren't any Muslims in your country.
Yeah, that is statistically significant.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Now,
statistically significant is the average number of deaths per incident at 3.4. Because in the US, it has to be at least 3 or more to be classified as a mass shooting.
Mass shootings are crazy because they'll be like, we have a mass shooting every 3 days in this country, or we have one every day in this country at certain times. It's like, well, that's a gang drive-by where 4 people got injured, all right? So they count that a mass shooting. And that happened.
4 people
that
got
does
injured
happen
when 3 of them dove to the
exactly.
ground and skinned their knee.
Well, but that's the thing, too. And even when that's why these numbers are incredibly liberal. Because even when you go to school shooting, it's like a gang shooting happened next door and a bullet landed on campus. Therefore, that is a school shooting. Right. It's like, okay, so really, if we narrowed it down, it would make these numbers even smaller. The true numbers would be even smaller than what these are. But I'm fine granting these higher numbers. So 1,728 people killed in mass shootings since
total 509 incidents.
Well, right. So over those 60 years, 1,700 people died in mass shootings. And then again, over this last 60 years, 721 kids killed, or just people killed, because that probably also includes the shooter in a lot of these cases. 721 victims killed in school shootings. Terrible numbers, right? We should strive to make those much lower. Now, just a random piece of data here, Richard. How many murders are committed by Black Americans every 3 months?
Ooh, every 3 months? Let's see. Divide that by 4. So I'm gonna guess 4,000.
Well, you're high, but it's
like
more
36?
than it's more than all school shootings and mass shootings combined. In 2023, there were roughly 20,000 homicides nationwide, applying the 56% yield, which is Blacks committing 56% of homicides, despite being roughly 6% of the population when we talk about Black males. 11,800 committed by Black offenders annually, or roughly 2,772 every 3 months. So every 3 months, Black Americans murder more people than all mass shootings and all school shootings combined. Again, let me repeat that for the people in the back. Blacks kill more people in America alone every 3 months than all mass shootings, all school shootings over the last 60 years. So if guns are the problems because we want to reduce the amount of gun violence in the US, I think there's other contributing factors to violence in the US that we could take down, right? Anyways, just some funny little numbers there, What do they mean? No idea. Australian PM says Bondi Beach terror attack suspects motivated by Islamic State ideology. Huh. Interesting. So this goes over age between 10 and 87 to heroic bystander. The suspects, the father and son duo, were identified as 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who moved to the country in 1998. So that's the thing. It's like, oh, surely they've been here they've been in Australia almost as long as I've been alive, right? And so you'd think, oh, they'll assimilate, right? They'll assimilate to our Western culture, to our Western values. They certainly won't just be the same type of people that they've always been. What the heck just happened? Just jumped me around for no reason. But surely they'll assimilate. Wrong. Sorry. Not quite so true. 50-year-old Sajid Akram and then his son, 24-year-old Naveed Akram, who was born in Australia, is in custody. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said they were driven by extreme ideology and were interviewed by security services in 2019, aka they were on our radar, but weren't part of a wider cell. Albanese announced Australia's plans to strengthen its already tough gun laws with new measures that will restrict who gets a license. Wait, restricting who gets a license? Are we restricting it on the basis of ideology or race or what? Because I mean, maybe there's a line where it's actually kind of based. you never know. Like, what are we talking about here for these restrictions? It could be the other side of that Overton Windex where you flip back from cringe to based.
Did these guys have a license?
That's true. I haven't seen whether or not these guns were legally owned or not. However, the guns themselves were like guns that could be owned. Theoretically, whether or not they were legal for them to have. Dude, Chud, how are you? Like, ads are off. There are no ads on the stream. I don't know how you get unskippable ads, but also, Chud, like, if you don't have, like, if you're on a PC, you have to be using the Brave browser. You have to be using the Brave browser. It gets rid of all of them. And I am sure that there is some free app that you can get that gets rid of all the ads. 3 unskippable ads. 3 unskippable ads is impossible. Like if
you are on Android, use DuckDuckGo, use the Duck Player. It works. It is free. Go do it.
Gecko Chaser says that he did have a gun license, but yeah, no, literally, I do not run ads. I have them on set to manual, and I never insert them. I never insert them on these streams, so you should not see an ad. I hope I'm getting paid for those, but you should not be seeing them on a live. That should not happen. Now, after the video's already up, then the ads run. That's fine. But during a live, you should not see one. Well, yeah, so I think they're going to be restricting who can get a license, cringe or based, call it now, probably cringe. They're going to make it more expensive, probably. They're going to make you renew it in a shorter period of time. They're going to make you do interviews. They're going to make it basically more expensive, more difficult, more taxes on top of all of it. Of course. Now, something that we should talk about is the quote unquote police officers out there. Because again, these gentlemen were allowed to shoot unopposed for about 20 minutes. And I think they fired something like 64 shots in those 24 minutes. And that includes reloading time, which, if you never reloaded a shotgun on the move under pressure, or I don't know how many magazines he had for his Beretta for the BRX, but stuffing rounds into a bolt action magazine, not super fun to do. So that's actually not a terrible rate of fire for that 20 minutes. There were allegedly female police officers there, and they failed to engage. There were 4. I've heard reports that there were 4 or 5 police officers at the event before the shooting started, right? So no one, literally not one person ever, the female police officers at Bondi Beach. And these are the photos of the 2 Australian police officers. Now, what's really funny about this is the memes around them. Yeah, very similar vibe here of the Secret Service women who just were running around like chickens with their head cut off, not knowing what to do. It's a little awkward. I want to do the one where they memed in the dancing girl. You remember the Australian Olympian who had no idea what she was doing? She was like dancing. Yeah, break dancing, right?
Yeah.
They photoshopped these girls out with them just break dancing while the shooters were going on. That's basically what they were doing. They just completely froze up, allowing the gunmen to fire uninterrupted for up to 20 minutes while these officers on the scene failed to engage. A little bit of an oopsie. So here you can see this is a much higher quality photo, because that's the one thing about this. If you do want to call it a psyop or a false flag, lots of really good camera shots and angles ready to go. So if you're that conspiratorial, I just think that there's 1,000 people around and everybody has
a popular
everybody
event.
everybody has a 4K camera in their pockets, and so everybody's snapping pictures, so you get some good shots like this. Here you can see the man with the BRX. He has a belt full of shotgun shells. He has a shotgun with, actually, that might be a full length mag tube, so it might have actually been incorrect earlier. So that actually might be able to hold 10 or 12 shells, depending on the length of that. It's got a side saddle with an additional 6. It looks to be a semi-auto shotgun. And this one here is actually probably much more dangerous than the bolt action rifle with probably like a 5-round capacity or something like that.
Yeah.
So now, let me see. Where was it going to go from here? So yeah, female police officers BTFO'd again. There's even more footage. Let me see if I can find some real fast of like the female police officers cowering behind vehicles and whatnot. Let me see if I can find some better footage of that. So here's one cowering behind a car. Not great. I mean, do Australian police officers, do they carry firearms?
Some of them do. I don't believe these officers were armed. I believe all they had was radios, and they were essentially glorified security. Wow, that guy has a glorious mustache.
Yeah, I mean, he describes the shooting going on and him trying to protect his family, because I think he was there with 2 of his kids, and just the police officers not doing anything despite being there beforehand. Absolutely tragic, absolutely worthless. You can hear, this is the video I wanted to see, because this one here, you can see that the shooting is going on, people are dying, people are bleeding out, and she's just hiding behind her vehicle, not doing anything. Yeah. So I mean,
shock, being pushed.
Well,
around by
right.
the
It's
other
it's hey, my job is calling me. Oh, I'm in shock. I can't actually do my job. Terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Well,
the
I
one
mean,
difference
to
that
be
I noticeable between men and women is when men go into shock for that moment, it's like, all right, things are happening, your brain shuts off, you go into muscle memory, and you just
I mean, to be fair to Australia, I don't know how much better our women would be in terms of training. I mean, this is again the U.S. 7th Fleet and our women, quote unquote, training. So I mean, I don't know how much better we are.
Pregnant?
Listen, all right, the physical standards of these men is varying. Okay.
No, not
varying.
them.
No, I
didn't
know,
I didn't
but
ask if the man was pregnant.
I think she might I think she's leaning really far back, because women do that. Women who haven't shot, they like lean all the way back, like as if they're afraid of the gun, which, you know, they might be instinctively, which is fine. But yeah, Uvalde, very similar vibes. Actually, where did I put that? I had that around here somewhere. Gosh dang it. Oh no, this is actually going to be relevant for the Brown University PD. But yeah, absolutely worthless. Both of them were absolutely worthless.
Did you see that the mayor of New York weighed in on the Australia Bondi Beach incident?
I would prefer not to be reminded that that man exists, but what did he say?
Basically that he stands with the Jewish community because one of the individuals was apparently a New York rabbi.
Yeah, many of the same people who float around in these circles going to these different events. You know, it's actually, I think, as we'll get into in just a minute, one of the gentlemen was allegedly involved in the October 7th attack in Israel as well, and then also happened to be at this attack as well. It's just, you know, really, it's really inconvenient timing. It's the opposite. It's so inconvenient that it might even be a little suspicious to some people, right?
So inconvenient that it's convenient.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, so now I did want to kind of draw some distinctions here between different terror attacks. So Washington, D.C., Hollywood condemn anti-Semitic terror at Bondi Beach Hanukkah event in Australia. Of course, which is, that's the thing. As soon as one of these events happens against like a Jewish community or against a Muslim community, right? Because we've seen the inverse happen as well. They always condemn anti-Semitism or Islamophobia or whatever else it might be. Anytime that any minority is under attack whatsoever, all the mainstream media, all of Hollywood, all the rich, powerful people and politicians who have this sort of incestuous relationship will be like, oh, we have to condemn these terror attacks. It's awful. We have to protect our friends, our brothers and sisters over there or whatnot. But then as soon as it's, you know, a mass casualty event targeting white people specifically, like nobody cares. It kind of just gets buried, and there's no term for it, right? Because these people hide behind anti-Semitism or Islamophobia. So they'll use these tragic events, right? They'll use these tragic events to bolster their own and to punish you. But when the inverse happens, when like the Waukesha killer called for violence against white people, when he runs a bunch of people over, it's like, oh, well, that's not a terror attack. That's not a racial hatred attack. You're not under attack. You're not persecuted. You don't have anything to worry about. You know, we're just let them kill you. Just let them stab you on trains. Let them pour acid on you. Let them light you on fire or whatnot. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
For those who don't recall, the Waukesha incident was a Christmas parade where this monster mowed down the Dancing Grannies, I believe, was one of the groups that was targeted initially, and then just plowed his way through the rest of the parade.
Mm-hmm.
And the media portrayed it as a runaway vehicle.
Yes. Runaway vehicle kills 6 at a Christmas festival. I hate runaway vehicles, dude.
Stolen cars and runaway vehicles.
Yeah, stolen car kills veteran. Yes. Now, this is another conspiracy. I thought this one floating around. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is alleging that the shooter himself is not, what was his name? Naveed Akram is actually David Cohen, who is Jewish, based in Tel Aviv, and that this is a complete false flag psyop. Again, while they look similar-ish, I don't know if I could co-sign on this. I mean, it's interesting, right? If there is a real connection here, but it's very difficult to tell anything online anymore because you can instantly create an AI fake profile. And allegedly this got taken down, leaked from Facebook profile of the Bondi Beach shooter before it got deleted. His real name is David Cohen and he's Jewish from Israel. Is this real? Can someone do some checks? We'll never know. We'll never know if this is actually real or if somebody made this really quickly, because as we'll see in a minute, like the AI stuff is absolutely out of hand. So here again, you have the, now this is from pamphlets. And as I mentioned earlier, they will instantly use any of these attacks, any of these shootings, any of these tragedies, any of these mass casualty events to pin it on you, to pin it on me, to say they are simply victims of an extreme right-wing ideology. That, not saying that it's Islam. Bondi shooters are a father and son, both far-right religious extremists. Far-right religious extremists. They'll do anything other than, say, a Muslim terror attack or an Islamic terror attack. Anything other than that. Far-right religious. Don't get me mixed up with them, all right? What's your problem? And then this is another just complete lie. This is also from pamphlets. Congratulations. Second Bondi gunman was a white man and a far-right religious extremist. All right. Yeah, of course, it gets community noted. The identities of the two alleged gunmen have been confirmed by 9 News as Sajid Akram, 50, and Naveed Akram, 24. Neither of these men are white. Yeah. It looks like, yeah, your average Welsh man. Your average Welsh man. It's like, yeah, tell me what religion. What religion do you mean? When you say a far right religious terrorist, mind telling me what religion that is, sir? Which one? Yeah, well, Red Right Hand says they found an ISIS flag in the car. Funny, wrong Muslims to blame Iran for it. Well, I did see that this might be used to stoke tensions with Iran because they've been claimed to be an Iran terror cell operating in Australia.
Well,
ISIS
did they
is
claim it or did the media claim it?
well, the
for
media
them?
is claiming that, right? And they're trying to connect the dots because I mean, war with Iran is like one of the goals of our greatest ally. Eliminating them as the, probably second or third strongest competition to them in the area would be very beneficial to them. They're one of those neighbors that they don't really like having.
Iran has been on the target board since Rumsfeld, I believe.
But it's, yeah, for sure. For sure. Now, also, ironically enough, having an ISIS flag in your car when ISIS was, started by members of the Mossad as like a counter terrorist organization, it's just a little strange,
I
it's
wonder
a little
if the flag
silly,
still had its creases.
right? Yeah, and I mean, of course, Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to use the tragedy to force more anti-Semitism laws. It's like, I don't know. I feel like some of these world leaders need to back out of other people's politics. It's very problematic. Very problematic. Ironically, that's good. It's good. Now, this is another one that I did want to talk about because people were claiming that this was proof of a false flag. So this is Bondi Beach terror attack, October 7th survivor among the wounded. This man allegedly got grazed in the head, and you can see he was talking with authorities afterwards. Now, the conspiracy theory started, I believe, after this gentleman, while bleeding out on the ground. This is just odd, okay? There's something weird about this where he goes to snap a selfie of himself after, again, allegedly getting grazed in the head by the rifle or the shotgun, right? So he's like, all right, time to snap a selfie. Whereas for me, like I'm thinking, if I'm shot, I'm on the ground bleeding out, I'm probably not thinking time to snap a selfie. I'm probably thinking, how do I get out of here? How do I leave? How do I run away? Like, I'm not pulling up a selfie. And again, this man was also involved in a survivor of the October 7th terror attacks. So it's from RT. October 7th survivor post photo with head drenched in blood after Bondi Beach attack. We came here only 2 weeks ago to work with the Jewish community to fight anti-Semitism. I never thought I would see this in Australia. Arsen Ostrovsky. So this is him earlier. And then that's where from this, then I saw this picture floating around with like 150,000 likes on Twitter and people retweeting it, people posting it everywhere. Look how fake this is. Look how much of a false flag psyop this is.
The shirt,
and they were running with this photo, right? And there's some things wrong with this photo. So this is not good. So first off, his face shape is similar, but a little different. The blood pattern on his shirt, unfortunately, is completely off. And if you look in the background, tell me what's wrong with those vehicles.
What vehicles?
Is there 2 of them? Is there 3 of them? I see
Is
half
that even
over
a
here
vehicle?
and
I
half
just
on the
see
other
one
side.
wheel and a bumper.
It's it's
Headlight on one
good.
side,
And at
tail
first glance, this will absolutely pass muster, right? If you just look at this image, you're like, what the heck? Which most people do, right? Most people don't look into it. They're not going to, delve into the details and do a background scan and then try and match up the blood pattern on his shirt. Because, of course, this photo that was going around proving a false flag attack allegedly does not match. Like, if you just look here, the blood pattern is just not there. It's just different, right? So they don't line up together at all. It's close, It's close, right? Because the face shape is very good. It's very convincing. It's funny. It's like, oh, ready to shoot the scene. Could you imagine if there was an actual false flag attack and they were just filming behind the scenes content right before it went live? It would be very funny. It would be very, very funny. But no, it's fake. It's fake. Now, allegedly, this photo might be fake for all I know. This is wild. I can't believe that somebody in the middle of a mass casualty event would be posting up to take a selfie.
I think that one is actually real.
No, I
It
know.
could
That's
be
what I'm
fake, but
saying.
I think it's real.
So now now I am not just going with the official narrative because I think that's also retarded and gay to always do that, right? I just think that what is actually fake and gay, what is actually planned, all the fine details are very hard to actually ascertain. They're very hard to actually figure out what objectively happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, it
Even
just
though there's
seems
4K
convenient,
video
right?
of it, the whole incident, probably from multiple different angles, it won't get released, and when it does get released, it'll get pulled down.
Well, I have a clip for you on that one.
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness.
Is that GT after the hair transplant? Oh no. Yikes. Yeah. Lots of strange, silly things. I think there are normal things to take away from it. One, if you don't have Islamic terrorists in your country, you don't get Islamic terror attacks. Pretty simple, right? I think the logic there is sound. Number two, anything that can be used to benefit Israel and to punish the vicious anti-Semites will be used against you for sure. So they'll absolutely never, what's the Zelensky thing? Never let a tragedy go to waste. So they will absolutely use this event to push, anti-Semitism, more gun control, even though they already have strict gun control, and to punish quote unquote right-wing extremism, because we wouldn't want you to do a heckin' hate crime, right? So we'll instead of punishing Muslims or Islamic terrorists, we'll punish like white Christians for having generic traditional beliefs. That's really what it is. It's all used as a tool against you, regardless of the actual finer details. And I know a lot of people, that's what they're really wrapped up in, right? They want to know the finer details. They want to know mechanistically who paid who planned what, who was actually involved. Did Israel carry it out? Did they just allow it to happen? They want to know all of the inner workings of all of these events. And unfortunately, those are the things that we just don't get to know. But taking back just a step, we know that they're going to use it against us, against the law-abiding citizens, against the good people, and they'll use it to paint people like me, people like you, as evil, vile, right-wing, religious extremists, right? Even though our religion is a little different than the perpetrators here. They'll never actually be honest or truthful about anything. All right. Well, I wish I had a better topic to transition into, but I don't. Well, maybe we'll get to some support first, and then we have. Oh, great. We have another one to talk about, this time at Brown University, this time targeting the young leader of the Republican Party on campus, which we will get to. Very, very tragic. All right. SD, Rapscallion, new member. Appreciate that very much, sir. Thank you for that. Hope you're having a good night. Amorite Boy for 2 says, later and gayer than Obama's drone war. All right. Appreciate that. Well, thank you. Lightsport for 2 says, happy Hanukkah, everyone, or HH for short. That's right. HH, brothers. Sabardic Psycho for 5 says, maybe the Aussies should just ban guns even harder. Hey, Aussies, how were the COVID lockdowns? Did you get the jab? I bet you did, cowards. Yeah, COVID camps. Let's fight against right-wing extremism, okay? But if you don't get this jab, you're going in the camp. Can't be having no authoritarian governments out there, but except for ours, of course. Thank you, Sabardic. Appreciate that. New Backroll for 5 says, howdy, gents. Still laid up, but feel a little better. Excited for the stream, as always. Well, I hope you're doing well. Kidney stones is absolutely miserable. Hang in there, bro. It will be over soon. Hopefully in time for Christmas, and you'll be feeling right as rain. Axe Grind for 2 says, is it possible to get sub MOA with FMJs? Yes. Just like anything. I mean, if the FMJ bullets are, you know, especially if you're loading your own and you just weight match the bullets and you have good casings and good powder consistency, then yeah, of course, why not? Why not? But I mean, the odds of getting sub MOA FMJ from like factory loaded ammo is very low. Very low. It's possible, but very low. The best of luck I personally had was with that Norma Golden Target. It came in 30 round packs. That stuff was actually pretty accurate. SDK Rapscallion for $20.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Says, is Moon Man going to be here tonight, or is he still on a flight back from Australia? That's a good point. All right. I haven't seen him in the chat yet, but he very possibly might be here. All right. You never know. Or he might be very busy. It's a long flight from here to Australia. All right. Amorite Boy for 5 says, Richard, our morale booster, women Templar, to lift our spirits in these trying times. Well, listen, Amorite Boy, I have seen you make a lot of spirit lifting material, okay, with your AI Sydney Sweeney Templar material and other Templars as well. So thank you for that. Appreciate that, Amorite Boy. Chud McGill for 5 says, ship my optic before you leave, Nuremberg. I needed to Fed post on Somali's wall on vacation. Richard, Chad Gassy with the Santa hat. I sent you. HH and was, that's right. Happy Hanukkah. Now, your optic was supposed to be here yesterday. No, Saturday. It was supposed to be here Saturday. So I slept downstairs because our freaking FedEx guy won't drop it off. It needs a signature, and he arrives like first thing in the morning. So I have to sleep downstairs so I actually hear him knock. And then he didn't show up on Saturday, and he didn't show up today either. Chud, I'm leaving tomorrow, so he had better be here tomorrow so I can ship you your optic. Okay? He'd better be here tomorrow, or else I have some coarse words for him. Thank you, Chud. Lightsport for 2 says, my last name will be Hate Minoritistine. Yes, Mr. Hate Minoritistine. It's a good last name. It's catchy. Subarctic Psycho for 2 says, just don't get caught when referring to SBRs and crossing state lines. Amrite Boy for 2 says, free man, don't comply in Minecraft, allegedly. Free men do not post that they're not complying on YouTube to get a knock at their door. Like, if you want to break the law, that's on you, right? That's cool. Whatever. You know, I don't care. This is your prerogative, right? You're a man. Be a man. Go to jail. Or, no, I'm just kidding. But I mean, just don't post about it online. Don't be stupid, right? Not being stupid. Not being stupid.
Into 55.
Well, yeah, but not being stupid fixes most of life's problems.
Saddam
Hussein, Pog Enjoyer for 2 says, I commit crimes on minorities in GTA V. Based. All right. Lightsport for 2 says, so Romeo 5 duty grade? ? Romeo 5 has always been duty grade, all right? Just depends on your definition of duty. Central Dance Defense for 5 says, Ellie, we are here to help. Something happens. Good luck dying. If the US LE barely trains, can you imagine how little Australia trains? Yeah, no, I imagine it is very horrible. I imagine they do almost nothing, that they're basically worthless. All right, thank you, Central Sands Defense. Appreciate that, sir. Everyday American for 5 says, what about the guy who took a selfie on the ground with his face covered in blood? He was also at October 7th and also took a selfie there as well. I didn't see his original selfie, but just this photo right here is so strange. Like, okay, let's take this at face value. Let's say he actually did get shot. It's all real. And he was sitting there bleeding out on the ground. And he's so narcissistic that he's like, oh, I'm covered in blood. I need to take a photo. I need to take a selfie.
One thing that I could see this being useful for is if you are hit and you don't know how bad.
Yeah, no, actually, that might be fair, actually, because like if I have blood all over my head
and you can't really tell.
Well, and I'm not dead, right? So I'm like, what happened? What like, did I get grazed? Do I have a chunk of my head missing? Like, what is going on, right? So maybe it is actually just to try and see the wound because he doesn't know what's going on. Possible. Interesting explanation. Saddam Hussein for 5 says everything on Australia wants to end you, even the sand people. Well, listen, in every universe, in every story, in every country, sand people just seem to be a bit of a problem. All right. I'm just saying. Redfin Pike, new member. Thank you very much for that, sir. Appreciate that. Saddam Hussein Pog Enjoy for 5 says, hello, this is YouTube. Are you happy with the blacks in chat? Please take a minute to fill out our quick survey. That's right. Good luck with that. No. What the heck is this? My gosh. Oh, that's funny, dude. What you people send me. I just got jump scared by this. Oh, well, come on. You can do it. Are you not going to do it? Come on. What is your problem?
I got
Fine.
close to it. It's acting retarded.
Yeah, fine. All right. Thank you, Saddam Hussein. Axe Grind for 2 says, please reach out to Thomas Sewell for a follow-up. Yes. Okay, Thomas Sewell. I actually just watched his interview with Jake Shields and Dan Bilzerian that they did on the Fight Back podcast not too long ago. So I could probably have him on. Not sure what that would do to my channel, but I could probably have him on. Redfin Pike for 2. Understanding per capita is the modern shibboleth. Yeah, it's Sisyphus pushing that boulder uphill. It's the black girl weave of per capita. It's impossible. They'll figure it out someday. Everyday American for 2 says ISIS ties, Israeli secret intelligence service. Yeah, I mean, its founding has very direct ties to Mossad. So Todd and Dogs for 2 says, okay, so get rid of the N-words and crime goes away.
Not entirely, because like Appalachia still exists.
Well, yeah, but you know that stat where it's like if you're an African American making like $5 million a year, you commit the same level of crime as like a Appalachian making like $30,000 a year. So like even when you normalize for poverty level, like the richest blacks commit as much crime as the poorest whites.
Well, I mean, tax evasion is a thing.
Well, right, but I don't even know if it's. I'd have to go. I would want to normalize for violent crime to see if it still normalizes across socioeconomic factors. Thank you, Tom Dogs. Appreciate that. Dick's Beater for 2 says Australian started as a penal colony and will end as one. Yeah, maybe it's just returning to your roots, as the kids say. Thank you, Dick's Beater. Everyday American 556 for 5 says I'd rather sit in a room unconscious with Diddy than be near a female police officer with a loaded gun. Whoa, Everyday American. I think you might just like it at that point. Okay, maybe you just like it. If you willingly fall asleep next to Diddy just hoping something happens, like, that's on you, bro. Chud for 2 says women officers need to be sent to Somalia grape gangs. That's not true, Chud. That is overly aggressive. They just need to be removed from their positions of power, not graped by Somalians. The Somalians shouldn't even be here. What are you talking about? In this ideal future, the Somalians don't exist. What are you referring to? Somalians? Wake up, brother. Everyday American for 2 says, give up your guns. The government will protect you. No. In fact, the government will enslave you, and then they will criminalize you for protecting yourself. Chud for 2 says, if they shoot their way out, they can come back. Oh, talking about the female police officers? Not likely. Saddam Hussein for 2 says, Trench takes Mom Dami PP. No, Trench doesn't take Mom Dami PP. He's not a PP enjoyer. Everyday American for 5 says, nothing happens in New York without Jew approval. These lefties think Mondami is their savior, but he'll kiss that wall soon enough. Well, we had a whole story lined up about him working with the New York Jew Federation or something like that. What was the story there, Richard? Do you remember the title of
that? Jew Yorkers for Mom Dami.
That's right. Jew Yorkers for Mom Dami. Yes.
Now, that's their word.
Yeah.
That's their word, not ours.
New York is a very incestuous, silly place with lots of different levels and tunnels to its corruption.
No, it's not incestuous. They go to great lengths apparently to make sure that there's no incest in the community. Apparently that was an issue for quite a while. But
well, right, because Muslims get made fun of because I think it's like 30% inbred. but you know, certain insular Jewish communities are also heavy on the cousin loving. Axe Grind for 5 says, I love white people. Who's with me? I mean, yeah, white people are my favorite people. Why wouldn't they
Alabama
be?
Ashkenazi.
Alabama Ashkenazi. Everyday American for 2 says, looking forward to the Samson option. Oh, yeah. That's where when Israel gets threatened, they strike every major city in the world with a nuclear warhead. Thanks, Israel. Greatest option. Yeah. What are the 6 cities they target in the US again? Something like that. That's their legitimate Samson option.
Yeah, DC,
Thanks.
New York, Atlanta, Miami, LA or San Diego, one of the two. Seattle, and I think Austin or Houston or one of the two.
Yeah, honestly, just send it. Honestly, just send it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, let it rip.
Ma Mehelik for 5 says at 37 years old, all I can tell you is it's the Jews. All right, thank you for the 5, sir. Vandalay for 2 says, is that corn syrup kosher? Referring to the blood on the gentleman's head. Is corn syrup kosher? Certainly, right? It's corn. Ma Melk for 2 says, import the third world, become the third world. Yeah, it's funny is when we import people from like horrifying places that we wouldn't want to live in our worst nightmare. They somehow magically could not improve their own homeland, but will improve ours. And if you threaten to send them back, they will lash out at you and say that's a fate worse than death is to be surrounded by people like them. A little telling. Moonman for 5 says, I have impeccable timing, a mass bad thing I can't say in the news, and I appear. Dun, dun, dun. Hope you're having a good night, Moonman. Appreciate that. Moonman for another 10 says, ignore them, Richard. That thing I made you. All right, fair enough. Autistic Endeavor for $20. That is incredibly base, sir.
Shut the fuck.
Gay. Longtime listener, first time caller. How much would it get you to shill the UGB Christmas Fund? He's a good dude that does good for kids in his area. Well, if you had reminded me of that or sent me a message, that's USA Gun Bunker, right? He does his Christmas toy drive every year. Let me see if I can pull up his list. That I just got jump scared by a 50s modeling picture. That's not what I was looking for. It's a bit of a degen. Let me see. Does he have a link for it in his Instagram? Because if you can send me a link to it, I'm happy to shill it. Because yeah, he does a good job. He does a toy drive every Christmas to get people what they need, to be nice and to be charitable and to be kind for those of you who have less, right? To make a difference in people's Christmas season, which is a very nice thing to do. So yeah, you don't have to just send me a DM, or if you can get me the link to it, or yeah, if you can tag Richard in it, I'd be very, very happy to shill that for free every stream. Moonman for 2 says, Richard, check DMs. It is Christmas after all. Oh, there you go. Look at that. We have the Horrors Beyond Human Comprehension Christmas edition. Thank you for that, Moonman. Appreciate that. Amrai Boy for 2 says, Richard, Deviled Ice Princess. Her peeps want to.
No,
put it on for like a second, but then yeah, the bar is set at $10. Put it on for like a second, unless it's bad. Is it the bad one?
It's fucking Mia Khalifa.
Oh, yeah. Cobalt for 5 RS or for 500 RSD. What the heck is RSD? RSD currency?
I have no idea.
What is Serbian dollars? So every Serbian dollar is 1 penny. So that is $5. Cobalt says generic Yogada would be very happy with the state of Christmas in the world if he was alive today. Generic Yagoda. See, that's a reference above my head, good sir. Yagoda. Let's see. Generic Grigorievich Yagoda 1891 to 1938 was a Soviet secret police official who served as director of the NKVD, Soviet Union Security and Intelligence, from 1934 to 36, appointed by Joseph Stalin. He supervised arrests, show trials, and executions of the Bolsheviks, Kamenev, Zinoviev, Great Purge, blah, blah, blah. Not a fan of Christmas, I take it. Well, he was also born in Rybinsk to a Jewish family. Not a big fan of Christmas, that man. Tragic. Mahelik for 10 says, here's some shekels to tell you it's Mahelik. Mahelik. It's Slovak. Please put some respect on that white name. Well, if you're a Slav, I mean, are you really white? Mahelik? That's fine. Mahelik for 10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, sir. Mahelik. I'll try and remember that. All right. Well, let's get to Ko-Fi real fast, and then we'll get to mass shooting number 2, because it just happens to be that week, I guess. Over on Ko-Fi, Art Vandalay says John's accents in order of best to worst. Number 1, Jewish rabbi. Number 2, Asian. Number 3, black. And number 4, Indian. I agree with you. Thank you, Art Vandalay. Appreciate that, sir. Oy vey, stop noticing Goyim over on Ko-Fi says, typical Jewish behavior, importing infinity browns, allowing terrorist attacks, painting yourself as the eternal victim. And then using those narratives to push your own agenda. Sabardic Psycho for 10 says, false flag. The fact that the police set back and did nothing proves it. Sound familiar? Uvalde, anyone? Right, but that would imply a stand down order, which I don't know if I believe a stand down order. Maybe just like intentional incompetence, right? You have a police force that's so incompetent, that's so untrained, they can't handle anything, and you make sure maybe that you have your worst police officers out there, right? So maybe that's your quote unquote false flag narrative. But yeah, I don't know if, because you can't trust these women to be like, oh yeah, by the way, stand down, because somebody's going to tell you something, right? But if you just make it to where they're so incompetent and worthless that they couldn't stop it in the first place, then, maybe that works out a little better. It's complicated though, right? And that's the nitty gritty details that are very difficult to actually ascertain. Cubby over on Ko-Fi says, he actually has a link to it. Post article about the cops shooting the hero. So they did shoot the guy who actually stopped the shooting. That's funny. I mean, funny in like a tragic way, right? Let me pull this up.
Ironic.
Well, right. They can't shoot the perps, but they can shoot the guy who stops the perps. So a man who rushed in to help disarm one of the terrorists who fired at a crowd celebrating Hanukkah in Australia's famous Bondi Beach was mistakenly shot by police and tackled by bystanders, according to a new report. So, oh no. So he himself goes up there, tackles the man, gets the gun away, then himself gets shot by police, and then tackled by bystanders. It's funny in like a sad, ironic way. Oh, and he had his hands up? Is this him? No way. Well, yeah. The man, father of 2, comes and yells. Oh my gosh. So they couldn't shoot at all while the perps were active, but this man with his hands up yelling not to shoot, they shoot him multiple times. The man quickly.
Familiar.
Well, that's the one the women were hiding at, right? Later on. The man quickly sneaks up on the downed shooter and begins kicking his rifle out of reach before the gunman can grab it. The quick-thinking civilian then begins to raise his hand back away from the scene, but gunfire continues to ring out as he shouts, "Don't shoot." The man was shot during the chaotic scene that followed. The video showing members of the public running in and attacking him as they mistook the hero for one of the assailants. The injured man was into the ground by the mob, with police running in to break up the scene and secure the area. Like, all right. Just a little awkward. So now he died during the shootout. So I think the police shot both of them because they were kind of fighting over the gun when the police actually arrived on scene to stop anything, not including the police officers who were already there. Absolutely insane. Thank you, Cubby, for that over on Ko-Fi. Thank you for clearing that up. And then, okay, we got a couple more over here. Light Spore, Kill All Sand Nigers says you're less likely to survive a sand Niger than a national death camp. Also, why didn't the Haji shoot the guy on the ground when he disarmed him? That's a good point. If it were my situation and I had just taken a gun from a gunman, right, who was actively killing people, and he was in any way threatening whatsoever, I would just shoot him until he was dead, right? I think that's totally justified.
Yeah, he showed extreme restraint in that moment. The next
he
sentence
did, right? Because the
there-
guy was like on the ground. So I mean, I think there is a legal world in which you've disarmed somebody and you can't legally kill them, even though I think morally you still could, right? Morally speaking, we're separating the two, morally and legally. Where like legally, if a man is given up and you just like execute him back of the head style, while you might be like morally in the clear, legally you might have some trouble there. But yeah, I mean, that's great restraint to not shoot him immediately. Because if I had secured the gun, one possession of the gun, and the man was on his feet looking at me, I would have shot him. Like until he was on the ground, not moving, not even capable.
If he has another,
well, it's a gun or a knife. And listen, if he is standing there looking at me, like ready to pounce, like you don't need to wait for him to pounce because he's already the aggressor. He's already shot people. He's already murdered people. You don't need to prove intent. Like he's already done it. So if he is in any way, shape, or form up and able to attack me or anybody else, like he has to go down. Paps Blue Ribbon over on Ko-Fi says, I do not care that the Christ killers got shot up in Aussie land. I hate how their irk let Muzzies and other individuals into Western Christian nations and then act like it's a second Hollow hoax when they get targeted, but when normal people are raped and murdered, it's nothing to them. Well, it's very important to remember that these people do not believe that they are equal to you in any way, shape, or form. They don't believe that when you read the Talmud, they don't believe that non-Jews are human. Well, they believe we're on the level of dogs. So, like, they can homosexually rape a 9-year-old, and they can, and it doesn't count. And then they can rape a 3-year-old, and as long as she's under 3, it's fine. So remember, these people do not, when you get really deep into the Talmudic religion of Third Temple Judaism, these people do not view you as human. So whatever they do to you is totally justified in their minds. Paulie B says, Geisley could do a heel turn and make the Geisley super booty to corner the Carl Casarda satanic butt cabal market, and it would be somehow less late and gay than your average stream time. I'm sorry, Paulie. Wow. Also, Merry Christmas despite a grim weekend. Well, Merry Christmas. Yes, the horrors persist, but so do we. Noob Crasinator over on Ko-Fi says, in the words of Lightspore, HH, or Happy Hanukkah, I'm sure. Here's your gelt. Also, glad you liked the clip, lol. Well, yes, I do appreciate it. And that is our top Semitic donator, Noob Crasinator. Appreciate that, sir. And then Curse of the Gingerbeard, way before the stream even started, became a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. All right.
So speaking of top Semitic donor, I don't know if you noticed or not, but apparently China banned OnlyFans.
Based?
And I started looking into it, and the CEO of OnlyFans is a Ukrainian
rabbi
American who donated like $11 million to AIPAC.
Well, he's a rabbi. He's a rabbi. It's weird to think that the two, really all of them when you look into it, but Pornhub and OnlyFans are all owned by rabbis. It's really weird that. It's weird how porn is heavily regulated in Israel, but projected into other neighboring countries as a form of warfare. It's really weird that in it strange, in it weird.
It's a little odd.
It's a tool of demoralization. Porn is a weapon of war against the young male mind. It is absolutely devastating.
It's also a huge, huge market, right? The amount of money that they're getting out of this war.
Well, again, the money, the sexual exploitation of children, the sex trafficking, the horrors that go on behind the scenes that these individuals get up to, like it's all satanic. Like it's, you know, I don't know how much more I really want to get into it without getting kicked off of YouTube. But yeah, you know, it's just satanic pedos doing satanic pedo things. Carry on.
I just thought that you might like to hear that China did something based for once.
Well, listen, all right. These international group of people, these nomadic people that don't have a homeland, that don't have any sort of national identity, they have moved from place to place. So it was once projected that as they were kind of pushed out from Europe and came to the US, that they would eventually end up in the East, like China. So they've been building inroads there for quite some time to shore up their political influence in the region. For instance, they were very, very heavily involved in Mao Zedong's revolution. You can look up the rabbi and the other Semitic influences on the Mao Zedong revolution, which is quite interesting. But there's also maybe some tension building up over there. So maybe that last line of defense isn't going to work out so well. So we'll see.
Rabbis on Zedong?
Rabbi Zedong till I'm Mao or something like that. Anyways, speaking about another mass shooting, although can you call it a mass shooting technically speaking? Because well, I guess there were lots of injuries, if they're including injuries, right?
Yes.
Multiple dead, several wounded after mass shooting at Brown University. A person of interest has been taken into custody in connection with a deadly. Now that person has been released, which we'll get to. That's the update, I believe. So the man is still at large, which is, we should keep that in context here, is that the man is quite literally still at large after committing all of these murders on campus, despite having like 800 cameras on the campus itself. Shooting at Brown University happened inside a classroom in the Barris and Hawley Engineering Building around 4 p.m. Saturday. 2 Brown University students were killed and 9 students were wounded, officials say. Police announced that a person of interest was taken into custody early Sunday morning. No details about the individual were immediately provided. And that is this man here. This man is, however, still at large. And there is a massive manhunt underway. But as of now, this fat, waddling Reddit phenotype is still on the loose. And they have not caught him yet. Authorities said the video showing a man dressed in black is still the most useful to help track down the Brown University shooter. Rhode Island AG Peter Nerona said if there was a piece of video they could use to show a face, you'd have it. This update comes after police said they would release a person of interest that was taken into custody because, again, they took somebody into custody for questioning, found out it wasn't him, let him go. According to video footage released by police, the suspected gunman was seen leaving the building on foot. The unidentified gunman appeared to be in his 30s, was dressed in all black, according to Providence Police. All right. Now there's lack of cameras. I think there's like 800 cameras in the area, but we're gonna click over here. So Brown University shooting manhunt resets with release of person of interest. So the gunman definitely targeted Brown University, though authorities are looking for other possible motives. What I can tell you is that this individual definitely targeted Brown University. Chief Colonel Oscar L. Perez Jr. said at a news conference. Obviously, it's something we're looking into as far as if there was anything else that he was targeting. Perez said the families of the victims have been cooperative and that authorities were investigating reports that the gunman yelled something during the shooting. Now, I am very interested at what that was, what the shooter happened to yell. I don't think it was "We Are Charlie Kirk." All right. I don't think he was yelling that or 6-7 or something else while shooting. It might have been something else a little more politically motivated, maybe something in Arabic. Like, I'm not sure. All right. FBI Cash App Patel reiterated Monday that the agency remains fully committed to assisting in the investigation. Right after they finish with the Epstein files, they will get to this one in the investigation or any of the other investigations that they're currently working on, maybe, at the Brown University shooting, including deploying additional resources and personnel. At this time, the FBI continues to act in an assisting role with the Providence PD leading the investigation. All right. Patel reminded the public that the FBI is offering up to $50K for information leading to the suspect's identification. It's Moon Man. All right. Where's my $50K? And that the new photos of the person of interest have been released. So let's see here. Now, this is unfortunately, it appears, we don't have concrete confirmation, but it appears that they targeted the Republican caucus or the Republican group on campus. So a Brown University targeted victim, Ella Cook, 19 years old, Christian conservative, leader of the only conservative group on campus, shot in the face and unfortunately deceased. Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island law enforcement still claiming they can't identify the shooter, even though there are over 1,000 cameras in the area between the university and the city. Apparently, they can only find one video of the back of the shooter's head as they walk away. Allegedly, no video footage exists of the shooter walking to the university or walking into the building, sort of like the January 6th pipe bomber. Even though we just found out that they had footage of the January 6th pipe bomber, his license plate number, his home address for the last 5 years. Right. Will the media, young conservative Christian white woman, ran the only allowed young Republican group on campus and was part of a small group of only 20 openly conservative students at Brown. Well, they mentioned that the police explicitly claimed it was likely a target attack to her family and that he came in from the room he looked specifically for her first before he fired. So, I mean, of course, when one of us is killed, it's not relevant, though. It's not a hate crime. It's not a targeted attack. It's not a vicious, problem. It's not something we need to combat. It's not an issue within society. It's like, oh, I guess that happened. Wow, I'm so sorry. Anyways, back to a mass shooting in Australia. That's much more important for reasons. And of course, these retards just haven't been able to find anything. Uvalde PD, Brown University PD being completely useless. One of their greatest skills. Here we go. Twitter video coming in 1 year, coming in hot with our DEI police officer.
Again, my condolences and thoughts and prayers with the families that were impacted by these actions. So, yeah, as the mayor stated, we have detained someone of interest, but I respect and to protect the integrity of the investigation, I would only be limited in my details. The next process for us is what we do best, and our detectives is to coordinate with the prosecutors, to collect evidence, to conduct interviews, and then from there, we'll be able to, when it's appropriate and accurate, to share more details with you all. But I'm pleased to say that the mayor stated the collaboration between our federal partners, our different municipalities in the state, is all hands on deck. And, when there's incidents in the city that shock the conscience, we know for a fact that we just step up. And the federal agents, our federal partners, I want to thank.
My question is English his second or third language?
Sounds like third. Sounds like
they
Spanish
do have
Portuguese was the first two.
They do have some updated images here of the shooter itself, and we'll take a look here. Nope, give me some audio, please. Please don't be as bad as the previous.
Tonight in Providence, Rhode Island, police released this surveillance footage showing a person of interest, face covered by a mask, walking in the area of Brown University 2 hours before a gunman opened fire on a group of students preparing for finals, killing 2 and wounding 9.
He rounded this street corner and walked down that way. Over there, you can see the building where the shooting took place. This area is surrounded by cameras, but it's unclear where he went next.
The man's identity unknown.
The FBI is now offering a reward of $50,000.
Tonight, authorities appealed to
Sign language interpreter.
He was getting into it.
Yeah.
Now, light-skinned for sure. He almost looks Asian, although these are super, super blurry videos.
The public for help, offering new details about the weapon.
The 9mm firearm was used.
Today, authorities combed the streets surrounding the university for evidence. The FBI, dressed in hazmat suits, searched this trash can and scoured the perimeter of the Brown University building as students recalled the horror of that day. Brown University junior Amit Chintalapati says he rushed to help his friend who'd been shot in his abdomen.
He kept saying, I just got shot. And I was just trying to keep him talking and not drifting off.
As the Brown community mourns the lives lost, 18-year-old Mohammed Aziz Murzakov and 19-year-old Ella Cook.
She was an incredible, grounded, faithful, bright light.
All this after law enforcement.
Another thing that I do want to say to my Catholic friends in the chat right now is that the media, for some reason, tends to completely ignore any sort of terror attack against Catholics, or call it any sort of, anti-Christian bigotry or anything like that. For some reason, they just, Catholics are kind of like a second-class citizen to these people. I wonder why.
Announced they'd release the individual they once believed could have been connected to the shooting. How confident are you that you have the suspect?
I'm pretty confident.
But by late Sunday evening, they'd let him go.
But, oh my gosh, words spoken right before disaster. So, Brown Police Chief man, how confident are you in your ability to secure the suspect? Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Brown Police Chief. Brown
University. A few moments. Well, actually, that's true. They had to have a brown police officer. I mean, come on. I mean, a few moments later, and he's gone.
Shooting. How confident are you that you have the suspect?
I'm pretty confident.
But by late Sunday evening, they'd let him go.
I think effectively he has been ruled out.
Peter Nerona is the Attorney General for Rhode Island. When you say effectively ruled out?
Yeah, look, in my mind, this person is not someone that committed this crime.
All right, Aaron joins us now live from Providence. And Aaron, the killer went into a campus building and opened fire. Why isn't there more surveillance footage?
Tom, the Attorney General told me they believe he moved through an older part of the building that does not have as many cameras. Also adding that at this point, they still do not have a clear image of the suspect's face. Tom.
That means he's a student there.
It's so strange to me because they have Amazon Bell footage, right, from houses and whatnot. But going through a active campus and into a engineering building, and they have no cameras. Like, I went to a mid-sized college, Central Washington University, and none of our buildings didn't have security cameras, at least on all of the entrances, if not more. So I don't know if I buy this at all. And they're like, unless he's like the most competent shooter of all time, and it just Solid snaked his way through all the security cameras and just knew the right timings and pathway to go. Like, I find it difficult to believe that he avoided all campus security recordings. I find that difficult to believe. And I mean, it's very possible. Cody Radar Hand says the killer went there, knew who his target was. And if it's true that the reports that he screamed something while killing Ella, that this could be another racially motivated as killing the leader of the Republican Party. And again, he might be a light skin, he might be a brownoid, he might be a white lefty, a Reddit phenotype. We don't really know. No idea. So funny story is, when I went to college, I kept my handgun in my backpack, which is definitely against school rules, right? I would have absolutely been expelled if they had found I carried a gun on me every single day at college, but I don't care. It's like if something was going to go down on campus, I wasn't going to be like completely defenseless and like, oh, wow, I screwed myself because I didn't want to get kicked out. Yeah.
Fun fact, one of the only jobs that I was actually fired from was because they found out that I carried not only on me, but had a rifle in my truck several times because I would leave and go to the range or go to work and then or go to the range and then go to work.
No, at Amazon, it is explicitly against the rules to have a gun whatsoever. But when I was an Amazon driver, I always had a gun on me, dude. Like, you have criminals following you, you're going to sketchy parts of town, you're delivering in the middle of nowhere sometimes. Like, yeah, I always have a gun on me, of course. Stupid not to. Yeah, dude, yeah, it's no classroom, no grade is worth your grave. No. What a little lame way to go. But I mean, they have some additional security footage. You can just see him kind of waltzing around. He looks mildly overweight, maybe a ponytail underneath the beanie, right? Because it kind of poofs up in the back.
Tonight in Providence, Rhode Island, police released this surveillance footage showing a person of interest.
Maybe.
Face covered by a mask, walking in the area of Brown University 2 hours before a gunman opened fire on a group of students preparing for finals, killing 2 and wounding 9.
He rounded this street corner.
Fairly overweight. The other image, he didn't look as fat, but then once he turned sideways, it was like, oh no, he's a He's a chunky boy. he's a
Surveillance
chunkster.
footage
Okay,
showing
chunky man. Yeah. It's again somehow this master of stealth Solid Snake got in and out without anybody stopping him or evading all the security cameras and all the other fun stuff. He's built just like me. Yeah, true. Well, I mean, listen, COVID masks are a great idea to get away with things, dude. I mean, criminals use this to their advantage all the time. They would just wear a mask everywhere, right? Why not? You know, you might look like, oh, you're just health conscious or something like that, right? But really, it just gave you impunity to do whatever you wanted.
That was the point.
Well, now maybe a W for the FBI, because that's really the only update we have on the Brown University. It appears to be a targeted attack against Ella Cook, who was the leader of the Young Republicans on campus. They only had about 20 members in the entire campus that were at least outspoken Republicans. And again, the media won't particularly care about this story because the perpetrator might have been one of theirs and the target might be one of ours. So, of course, it doesn't suit their narratives to push something like this when a young white woman gets murdered, as they really tend to not care whatsoever. I think white women are actually on the lowest part of their totem pole when it comes to their hierarchy. I think they're completely disposable in their mind, even though, ironically, most of their ranks are made up by such women who I just think are galvanized and, what's the right word, propagandized into believing they're retarded positions, because, again, they are still, at the end of the day, women. But the media won't care about it. But maybe a little bit of a FBI W here. So over the weekend, the FBI disrupted a credible imminent terrorist threat and arrested 4 individuals connected to the Los Angeles area. The subjects self-identified as members of a radical offshoot of the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Now, I was informed by this. Turtle Island Liberation Front, Axe to Grind let me know this. You typed it in the Discord. The Turtle Island Liberation Front. Turtle Island is a reference to what the Native Americans, although to be honest, we're the Native Americans. The indigenous people here aren't even indigenous, so I don't buy any of that narrative at all. But they used to call this place Turtle Island. So Turtle Island is a reference to, like, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm just going to call them Indians. To what Indians used to call the United States, this landmass, Turtle Island. Though it is, of course, not a turtle nor an island. Fair enough. So Turtle Island Liberation Front, or TILF. TILF. An extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, anti-government ideology. They were allegedly planning coordinated IED bombings on New Year's Eve, targeting 5 separate locations across Los Angeles. In the days since, FBI New Orleans arrested an additional 5th individual believed to be linked to this radical TILF subgroup, also allegedly planning a separate violent attack. Outstanding work by our investigators and law enforcement partners at the Justice Department. Their work will undoubtedly save countless lives. FBI Los Angeles will hold a press conference later today to share additional details. Actually, I wonder if I can find that real fast, because it is later today, so maybe they've already had that press conference. Oop, sorry, Piers Morgan. Just got jump scared. Los Angeles TILF press conference. They might have the latest on that. Let me see. Oh, here we go.
Over the weekend, my office, along with the FBI, arrested members of a far-left, anti-government domestic terror cell who self-identify as the Turtle Island Liberation Front. The individuals were arrested on Friday, December 12th, when the group attempted to construct and detonate IEDs out in the desert. In addition to the arrests, we executed several search warrants throughout the nation. I want to thank our partners at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Louisiana, U.S. Attorney Zach Keller, and the U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, Lee Foley, for providing valuable assistance over the weekend with a very complex and coordinated search warrants that were done. The charges we are announcing today stem from the defendants and their co-conspirators' detailed, coordinated plot to bomb multiple U.S. companies on New Year's Eve.
New Year or American companies. So I wonder if they were targeting like right-wing companies. I know that it also said in another article that they were targeting ICE agents or ICE facilities. So again, they're anti law enforcement, anti-border, pro-Palestine though. Whatever. As if they were going to make sense.
Thankfully, that plot has now been foiled thanks to the hard work of the FBI and the Department of Justice. This investigation was initiated in part due to the September 2025 executive order signed by President Trump to root out left-wing domestic terror organizations in our country, such as Antifa and other radical groups like the Turtle Island Liberation Front. As the president made clear, recent attacks across the country have highlighted the grave threats posed by these far-left domestic terror groups. These threats are sophisticated, organized campaigns of targeted intimidation, radicalization, threats, and violence designed to silence opposing speech, limit political activity, and direct policy outcomes, and prevent the proper functioning of a democratic society. In direct response to the president's order, the Attorney General issued a memo to our offices implementing and mobilizing federal law enforcement to prioritize and counter domestic.
What they need to do is they need to give Eric Prince a Freudian slip, a blank check to remove these groups, these NGOs, these agitators, to go after all of these cells of all of these individuals and, just remove them. Now, I'm not saying where to remove them to or in what state they will be removed in, but yeah, I just think we need to eliminate these anti-American evil groups that hate everything America stands for, and they should be tried as traitors, or they should be forced to renounce their citizenship and then be deported to random country on the map, or not deported at all.
I can't believe that even Fox is scared to call the Australian shooting a terrorist attack. They had to put it in quotation marks and the bottom chyron there. That's disturbing.
Listen, just because they were Islamic and they targeted Jews and another jihad, which they've been doing for the last 1400 years, not just against Jews, but against everybody because that's part of their religion, doesn't mean that it's a terrorist attack. Okay? Listen, if only we had 1400 years of evidence that these people do this. If only.
Domestic terrorism and political violence investigations. As a result of those directives, we built this case. Both my office and the FBI have invested substantial resources into investigating and charging these organizations. And if anyone does not believe that members of these groups are organized, sophisticated, and extremely violent, let me tell you about the plot in this case.
Good. Get to it.
The four defendants are Audrey Carroll, 30 years old. The pictures, I think we have them somewhere. We'll put them up here. Audrey Carroll, 30 years old. Zachary Aaron Page, 32. Dante Gaffield, 24. And Tina Lay, 41. Each from the Los Angeles area. Each is charged with conspiracy and possession of an unregistered destructive device in violation of Title 26.
Unregistered. Yeah, I want the pictures. I don't know why they're not showing them. Maybe they will in a minute. Unregistered destructive device. That's gay, right? Just charge them with terrorism crimes, lock them up, and throw away the key. Or again, other fun activities you could do with these types of people.
United States Code Section 5861D. We intend to file additional charges in the coming weeks as we finish reviewing the evidence. The defendants are all radical anti-government members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, which according to their own social media is an anti-capitalist, anti-government movement that calls for their associates to rise up and fight back against capitalism. One of the leaders of the organization, defendant Audrey Carroll, helped organize an even more radical faction of the group called the Order of the Black Lotus. Each of the defendants charged today was also a member of the Order of the Black Lotus. Carroll described this group to her co-conspirators as everything radical.
This sounds like a Bucky, a Glow So Bright episode in the making. Bucky, if you're out there, get on this, bro. There's 2 organizations you need to do an intel report on.
As detailed in the federal complaint, which we will now make public, in November 2025, defendant Carroll created a detailed bombing plot to use explosive devices to attack 5 or more locations across Southern California on this upcoming New Year's Eve. Carroll and her co-defendant, Zachary Page, led the effort to obtain and build the bombs and to recruit others to join in their plot.
And again, there are many of these, these are Americans, right? These are American citizens. These aren't even some sort of foreign terror cell, right? These are domestic-born terror cells built out of this, like Hassan Piker, fill the streets with their red capitalist blood type of thing, right? Who's a capitalist? Well, anybody who doesn't agree with me. Who's a fascist? See previous answer, so on and so forth, right? The solution for these people is much more complicated, because even if you do the re-immigration, right, you get rid of all of them. Well, there's still a section of Americans that we have to, and maybe quotation Americans, that we have to figure out what to do with.
Carol's bomb plot was explicit. It included a step-by-step instructions to build IEDs or improvised explosive devices, and listed multiple targets across Orange County and Los Angeles. Carol also made clear her desires. She said, quote, "What we are doing will be considered a terrorist act." Carol and Page also discussed...
Homie, that ain't gonna look good on your arraignment hearing when you're in your own words. By the way, this is a terrorist attack.
plans for follow-up attacks after their bombings, which included plans to target ICE agents and vehicles with pipe bombs. Carol stated that those plans would, quote, "take some of them out and scare the rest." Throughout early December, the co-conspirators discussed their plans during an in-person meeting in Los Angeles and through an encrypted messaging application. As part of the plan, the 4 defendants plan to build test bombs in the Mojave Desert. You're going to hear more details about the bombs they intended to build and how the operation went down in the desert here shortly from the FBI Assistant Director in charge. In preparation for the plan, the co-conspirators purchased multiple pieces of bomb-making materials and discussed their travel plans to the desert. Last Friday, December 12th, the defendants took a significant step to carry out their plans. They traveled to the remote campsite, which you're going to see some video of, in the desert, and they began unloading their bomb-making materials to assemble and test the bombs. They had everything they needed to make an operational bomb at that location, and they were subsequently...
So if I remember correct, I think there were 6 people in total. 2 of them were federal informants. So there were 4 retards and 2 federal informants, and that's how they got all of the information, all the access to all of the communication, the getting them all together with the bomb materials, with the manifestos and all the other fun indicting materials. So I'm pretty sure it was 4 retards and 2 feds
arrested by the FBI before they could build a functional explosive device.
What's up?
30% or more is federal informants, as usual.
Yeah, usually it's somewhere between 30 and 70%. Honestly, 30% is a little on the low end, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
I
put the pictures.
I'm gonna let this
Discord.
roll. Oh, you did. You put the. Let me see them.
Yeah, also in the side chat if you just wanted to click
Oh
the
my gosh.
link to read the article.
Whoa.
But yeah, they're wild.
Well, I mean, it was, I guess, kind of what I expected, honestly. But thank you for putting these on screen for me. My gosh.
Yeah, the one was disturbing right there. Like,
All
Marilyn
right.
Manson.
So give me, do you have the link for the name for the article? Because
yes,
the
it's
article.
inside private chat. Hold on.
Okay. Well, is it going to actually tell me their names?
Yes.
Okay. So in the criminal complaint, the 4 suspects are Audrey Aline, Carol 30, Zachary Aaron Page 32, Dante Gaffield. Gaffield sounds like a Italian way to say Garfield. Listen up, Gaffield. Tina Leah 41, all from Los Angeles. This looks like LA personified right here. We've got generic brownoid. We've got Asian ambiguous gender. We've got meth head and Latinx past the wall, which for a Latinx is 23, by the way. 23 is the wall for a Latinx. I think this girl's only 30 years old. Oof.
Yeah.
Shortly after the defendants were taken into custody, the FBI executed multiple search warrants, including at the defendants' Southern California residence and other locations throughout the country. I'll highlight some of the items found during those searches over the weekend. For example, in Carol's residence, law enforcement found multiple posters and materials associated with Turtle Island Liberation Front, including posters stating, quote, "Death to America, long live Turtle Island and Palestine," and, quote, "Death to ICE, Turtle Island Liberation Front." In Page's residence, law enforcement found a copy of the detailed bomb attack plan. This case is another reminder.
They're like, hey, you can't own this land. This was somebody else's land. You're trespassing on their land. But it's like, well, it was somebody else's land before that. So do you have any sort of like justification for why this land is improperly held, but their land was properly held? I don't think so.
It's even better because they're like, well, you violently murdered them to take their land, so Now I'm going to.
Well, that's the myth of the noble savage. It's like people are like, oh, but it was so nice before and we lived in harmony with the land. It's like, no, you killed, murdered, raped, and enslaved one another. Like, you know.
Is anyone familiar with I believe it's called Buffalo Jump, where they used to run entire herds of buffalo off of a cliff?
Oh yeah, no, it's the myth of the noble savage is hilarious.
Well, no, it's not a myth. Like the
No,
Buffalo
I know,
Jump
but
is
that's what
an
I'm saying. Like
actual
they would
place.
just kill like entire herds, and then it would all just rot and be wasted. These
Yeah.
weren't like
At
you
least
know,
we packed them in salt.
nature respecters. Also, if you had invented the wheel, I might have felt more sorry for you, but
They didn't even ride horses. Like that was.
Focus trip. That's a
lie.
July. That's a July. Which one's the July? Oh well, that's right. Asian is an Indian. All right, so he's gonna defend his people. Listen, all right, Asian. If you want to school me on whatever Indian tribe you're from, I'll take your word for it, bro. Okay, but I'm saying by and large, Indians went to war with one another. They killed one another. They took slaves, raped, pillaged, murdered. All of the things that humanity has done since the beginning of time, Indians are also guilty of. They're not
Was it
some
the
special,
Blackfoot?
unbeatable race that was perfect in every way. Don't be silly.
Was it,
Now,
I
of
think it
course,
was the
I'm
Blackfoot
sure
Indians.
Asia AMR that they were. I'm sure AMR that there were good tribes, quote unquote, good tribes and bad tribes. All right, I'm not saying they were all the same.
Reminder about the dangers that radicalized Antifa-like groups pose to people, public safety, and the rule of law. Through the tireless work of our prosecutors in my office and our law enforcement partners, which you will hear from today, we disrupted this terror plot before buildings were demolished or innocent people were killed. But this is not the end of our work. My office is committed to extinguishing the far-left terror threats that we face, and will.
Bro, I mean, in a way, it was like taking candy from a baby. It was like literally, it was giving trinkets for large swaths of land. It was totally unfair, but mega base, dude. And it wasn't stolen. All right, it was finessed.
It was bought for $10.
Yes, yeah. Like what did Thomas Jefferson buy Louisiana for? The Louisiana Purchase. It was something insane because it was like $1.3 million at the time.
It was the
But
largest.
was it like $1 per square mile or something like that?
It was the largest transfer of land that had ever happened peacefully.
Yeah.
Continue to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The 4 defendants arrested will make their initial appearance this afternoon at the federal court in downtown Los Angeles. They are each considered innocent until proven guilty. I will now turn it over to the Assistant Director in Charge of the FBI LA office, Akil Davis.
Good morning. Again, my name is Akil Davis. I'm the Assistant Director in Charge of the FBI's Los Angeles Division. As we're all aware, we've had a busy weekend in this country and abroad with bad news incidents one after another. Today, we are announcing a major victory in our collective effort to protect the American people. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force intercepted a scheme by members of a violent extremist group we believe determined to detonate explosives at multiple businesses on New Year's Eve. Last Friday, the FBI arrested 4 of those subjects near 29 Palms in San Bernardino County while they planned and rehearsed their attack. The 4 subjects are members of a radical faction of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, TILF, a violent, homegrown anti-government group. The subject arrested envisioned planting backpacks with improvised explosive devices to be detonated at multiple locations in Southern California, targeting U.S. companies. These
Can you be
bombs
more
were to blow up
specific?
at the same time on midnight this New Year's Eve. The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs.
This is like some V for Vendetta, lefty LARP fantasy, overthrowing the government, Guy Fawkes nonsense, right? Where it's like, we're the good guys murdering random civilians
I bet
so
the
we can
companies were
overthrow
probably
the government.
Tesla.
Yeah, like Tesla, maybe Amazon. I don't know what else you would do, but I mean, it's just so gay. It's like you're in
Amazon?
California.
I thought they like Bezos.
Well, maybe, but I just think he's big and the most capitalistic person around, right? Who's the richest man in the world? Is it still Elon or is it Bezos?
They go back and forth so often. I don't.
It's well, dude. Did you see? Just funny side note. I saw that SpaceX is going public, and its initial IPO was rumored to be about $800 billion.
That seems about right.
$800 billion for the first publicly traded space transport program. $800 billion. All right.
It included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs and contained guidance on how to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to them. Our investigation uncovered evidence in that the group would test the explosives in the desert. And we're going to show footage of that here in a second. We learned that the alleged co-conspirators had recently started acquiring precursor chemicals and other items necessary to accomplish this task. In recent days, the alleged co-conspirators discussed plans to travel to the desert on the 12th to detonate the explosives. Knowing this, the FBI's JTTF and the FBI Los Angeles field office staged multiple SWAT teams, special agent bomb technicians, our evidence response team, along with the FBI's elite hostage rescue team in the desert to disrupt this plan before any harm could occur. Because of this, we were able to disrupt their plan. All 4 group members were taken into custody without incident. The TILF Instagram account publicly posts content that advocates for violence against United States officials. A recent post called for a revolution and asked for supporters to organize and be ready. The FBI, as you have seen here, can also organize and be ready. We could not have accomplished these arrests without the exceptional assistance from our partners on the Joint Terrorism Task Force. I specifically want to thank the following agencies, as you see up here today: the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, the Palm Springs Police Department, along with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. I also want to recognize the following FBI field offices as this investigation crossed the entire country: the New Orleans Division, the Buffalo Division, Indianapolis Division, and the Boston Division, who, as you all know, have had their hands full this weekend. In fact, an additional order was arrested by our partners at FBI New Orleans in support of this investigation. I will now turn it over to the Los Angeles Police Chief, Jim McDonald.
Show us the
Thank you,
video.
and good morning, and we appreciate you being here today. The Los Angeles Police Department is proud to stand alongside our federal, state, and local partners today to announce the arrest stemming from a coordinated domestic terror plot. The case underscores the persistent threat posed by extremist groups and individuals, as well as the critical need for law enforcement agencies to remain vigilant in protecting our communities. The successful disruption of this plot is a powerful testament to the strength of our unified response, driven by the collaboration and tireless efforts of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, along with our allied agencies. Together, we have prevented a potential tragedy and reaffirmed our shared commitment to safeguarding our communities. I want to personally thank the dedicated men and women from every agency involved. Their relentless work over the past several days has ensured that those responsible were apprehended swiftly.
No, they're not even going to get to it. Come on. I'd have to get out of this.
Gay.
Because, I mean, I think they do show it, but then they don't. They just like point to the screen rather than actually showing it. Okay, let me see. Shoot. They have just a clip of it up. Let me see if I can find something real fast. No, they're still Terrapod foiled. Yeah, we're still looking at that. Okay. FBI. Till terror plot. Surely somebody's got to have it. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
As I mentioned in my talking points, on December 12th, a group of individuals, again, members of this anti-government group, traveled out to the desert to test their explosive devices. They had
question, just quick question here. So, is it their drone that's flying?
Oh, no.
Or do they just not notice a drone like 100 feet above them?
Oh, no. That's not 100 feet above them, sir. That is, that's way up above them. That's probably quarter mile.
Well, but
mile
even if
at
it's
least.
flying, like if it's a big enough drone, then shouldn't they notice that? Like this would send warning signs.
Precursor chemical.
Why is there a Reaper drone above us? Quick question here, guys. Why is there a Reaper drone over there?
There, and they were going to create these bombs in the desert. What they are starting to do is put their chemicals and wares and the components out on the table there. This footage that you're watching is from our surveillance plane, and then what happened after this is the Los Angeles FBI SWAT team, along with the FBI's hostage rescue team, moved in and arrested all 4 subjects without.
Hey, New York Post, I know you only have 2.25 million subs, but if you could fix your audio, that'd be great. Thank you.
Without incident.
So now we'll take some questions. Yeah, we're not naming the victim companies, but I'll generally describe them as logistics centers.
You
can think of like Amazon type logistics centers, but we're not naming the
This is probably
companies.
Amazon.
Well,
Amazon
Walmart.
type. Like Amazon,
there
yeah,
were at
Walmart
least
might be one.
5 locations that they intended to target within Orange County and Los Angeles County. Again, we're not giving out the specific sites, but they were willing and wanting to do more if they could recruit more members to their radical efforts there.
Okay, well, let's actually look into that real fast because I did have this pulled up. Again, these are the best and brightest that we're dealing with. This just looks like your local LA homeless encampment to me, right? You got this. This is just normal. The beauties of diversity in your neighborhoods, dude. Although I do have to say, I watched a video today by Reno May talking about how maybe we should watch that actually. Great video. Reno May talking about how gangs in LA and criminals target Asians specifically, and these criminals, and remember, I hate criminals, talking about why they target Asians. Very problematic. Well, talking about holding like children at gunpoint, being like, I gotta do what I gotta do, man, bread, man, shit, man, I did fall. I'm like, Zanico, I appreciate it, man. You don't gotta be announcing your presence there. We can smell it, all right? We can smell it. Just kidding. Andy, no, put this up today. Turtle Island Liberation Front is a Antifa-style far left domestic terrorist group. Their social media propaganda repeatedly calls for violence. And again, this was a public Instagram page. Dude, those eyes are wider than what's that chick who has the super wide eyes? Shoot, her name escapes me. The fish girl. She was in the black mermaid. Yeah, I can't even think of the name.
I can't either.
Those eyes are wide. That's a fish. That's a fish under there. I'm pretty sure that Burqa is hiding gills. But anyways, liberation through decolonization and tribal sovereignty. Sovereignty? What if a tribe wanted really strong borders under their sovereign rules? So this again, Turtle Island Liberation Front. Peaceful protest will never be enough. Well, that sounds to me like they need to be unpeaceful. Some might even say violent. We are up against fascist colonizers. Again, keep in mind that when they say that, they just mean me and you. That's what they mean. They just hate me and you. That's it. Listen, look at these people. I was self-report. There are no morals for us to appeal to. No sense of justice or what's right. We cannot vote ourselves out of a mass colonizer occupation, meaning that they literally just need to kill you. They have no moral center. They have no foundation, no sense of justice. Just kill Whitey, get Whitey out, and then you can be free and everything will be honky-dory. Just ask Zimbabwe. Oh, wait, they're starving to death and their electrical grid failed. Oops.
Zimbabwe? You mean Russia?
Well, right, but no, because I want to call what it is now, Zimbabwe, a failed state, because Rhodesia was working. Rhodesia was a cool place. Great history. Actually, now that he's banned, Zoomer Historian did have a good starting documentary on the history of Rhodesia. Great video. I recommend everybody go take a look to see what the fine people of, before Rhodesia were like while it was getting built. But that's over on his Substack, Zoomer Historian's Substack. Go check it out. Great video. Yeah, and again, anytime they talk about fascists or colonizers, they just mean people like me, people like you. They want to Zimbabwe you. They want to make you a minority and then remove you. They want you dead. They want your women murdered, raped, whatever it might be. They don't care when you get stabbed on trains. They don't care when you get set on fire, when you get attacked with acid, when you get shot in the face for being a part of your Republican leader group on college campus. They do not care about you whatsoever. You are an obstacle in their way, and they simply want to remove you. Yes, actually, yeah, I was watching his video, and there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know about Rhodesia. Great video. Again, check out Zoomer Historian's video on Rhodesia. I think it's on his Substack because he was too based for YouTube, which, I mean, we're all going to be there at some point. Richard made a great reference. Oh, sorry. What reference did I make? What did I poo-poo, Paulie? Richard, what did I poo-poo? What did I miss? Things going over my head is not an uncommon occurrence.
It's all good. It happens.
No, but what was it? I'm confused now.
I don't know. I legitimately don't know.
I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. Okay, but there's one part of this Reno May video that I want to watch before we get out of here. Here we go.
State of California, and you get to watch and probably just rate.
So let me pull this up. I don't know where he got this video from, but it made me feel the upsetty spaghetti. It's from some documentary that I watched about Californian gangs.
Imagine this, you pay very high taxes and your neighborhood is getting picked apart by constant theft. And when you dial 911, the police are so overwhelmed that no one shows up for hours. This is how you create a sense of hopelessness. Ordinary people.
I'm not going to pause too much, but as someone that has personally had to dial 911 a handful of times, it is eye-opening to hear a busy tone and being put on hold in order to dial 911. Thankfully, in those situations, I was not in danger. I was calling.
What do you mean you'll be taking it in VC? Jake, the VC is not a place for you to sell your explicit feet ASMR content, Jake. Please do not do that.
For getting aid to someone else. And I've been on hold 3 times out of the 3 times that I've called 911 in the state of California. If you've had a situation like that, let me know.
People get taxed to death while living in terrible conditions, and over time, it destroys the morale of an entire city.
Can you introduce who you brought with you?
So these are like gang members from, California, and they're going to talk about who they target and why it happens to be Asian people.
Yeah, I want to talk to you. Yeah, for sure. I'm with my boy Darwin right here on Hood.
Darwin, I saw a news article about you.
Darwin.
Sorry,
That's
Darwin.
Hilarious.
I hope this motherfucker wins a Darwin Award at some point, that's for sure.
I ain't gonna say too much. It's on the news. You know.
4 people are behind bars tonight in connection to a string of home invasion robberies in San Jose. Police say the suspects were armed and held 6 people, including a 15-month-old baby, at gunpoint.
One of the cases involved.
Not having the death penalty, I think, is a major mistake. People like this should just be shot in the face.
Faced.
Grandma and grandpa and baby.
Mm-hmm. So let me back that up so you guys get to hear that again.
And held 6 people, including a 15-month-old baby, at gunpoint.
One of the cases involved.
Not having the death penalty, I think, is a major mistake. People like this should just be shot in the face.
A grandma and grandpa and baby?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking insane.
I mean, shit, you have to do what you gotta do to get money, right? We ran up.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get money, right? You gotta hold a
How
baby
much
hostage.
money did that 15-month-old have?
Well, I mean, listen, again, how do I say this without getting removed from YouTube? These people don't view, like, they don't have any, like, they don't believe in sanctity of life, right? So, like, beating you to death means nothing to them. Murdering a child means nothing to them. What matters is status, money, stuffing their face. They have no value, no moral character, no higher function whatsoever. It's my dick, my money. That's it.
Up in there, me and bro jumped the fence, went in.
Did you hear that? He had to do it. He had to do what he had to do.
I ain't gonna lie, it was the dad and the baby sleeping in the couch. You feel me? It was knocked the out. I saw them sleeping, and I told my brother, I was like, brother, you feel me? I ain't trying to do this, you feel me? Because out of respect, you feel me? There was a baby in there. But
yeah, these criminals, they have respect.
the time me and him were done arguing, going back and forth for like 30 seconds, the dad woke up, so we just had to go full on with it. That's exactly what we did. I done came up on like 15 bands that day. That was a good day for me. That was a light day.
$15,000. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm in the wrong profession. Maybe they have it all figured out. The guy driving around with a car with cracked headlights, maybe he's got it figured out because he's pulling in 15 bands.
Do you ever have nightmares where you wake up and it's like, oh, what did I do? Like you reenact moments that are
I feel bad, yeah, most definitely. Every time I think about it, I done run into so many houses I can't even count on my own hands and feet.
How do you pick which house you want to go into?
Maybe it's just because you're not too bright and you can't count in the first place, sir. Because 15 bands, $15,000 gone, and to the point where you're robbing houses every week. Like, maybe you're just a retard who shouldn't be allowed in public. You know, there's a cage for you. I think it's very appropriate for you and your kind.
This right here is the part that you really need to see. So if you find some sort of identification with yourself, if you identify with this at all, this should be an eye-opener to you.
But honestly, shout out to Asians. I love my Asians.
I feel it. Shout out to my Asians. I feel my Asians.
So he talks about basically the rest of the video is why they target Asians, what they look for, like Buddhas and any sort of like Asian giveaways. They're like, oh, perfect. This is a house that's well off, that's rich, and is less likely to put up a fight, I guess, which is crazy to think about. I feel like Asians get a lot of hate because they're number 2 on the hit list behind white people in general. So like they're very successful, very low crime, like the lowest crime population in America. They have generically like family values a lot of the time. And so they're like the number 2 behind white people in terms of persecution. Like they're absolutely discriminated against when it comes to getting jobs or getting into certain colleges, even though they have the highest scores out there. So,
yeah. How do you feel about abortion in this instance?
Well, it's funny. Late term abortion or like post term abortion is a funny term, but I would just call this case like justice, right? Of death penalty or life in prison, or I feel like we should just do the Australia thing, but instead of sending white criminals places, we just send the rest of them to like Nicaragua, and we're like, I don't know, figure it out. I don't care. We just get rid of you. We just get rid of you. I need to get that clip Nick one day where he's like, Jews are running society, women need to shut up, and blacks, for the most part, need to be in prison. It's just that clip over and over again. Yeah, but a post-term abortion is a funny term. Post-term abortion. It's tragic though. I mean, realistically, like even their own people, it's a coin flip. It's like 51%, 52% are aborted before they're even born. It's tragic. And it's the degradation of our society, the demoralization of our society. And, you know, there's things we could do to fix it. But I don't know if it's going to take a lot to get that done. Although I just received this intel updated list of the perpetrators.
We found the 5th
It's
one.
very tragic. Yeah. Apparently, Jake has also been indicted, not in custody, on the loose. Any information about Jake's whereabouts, the Los Angeles PD and the FBI would be very interested to know Jake's current location. There is a $50,000 reward for his location if you can turn in Jake. So just chat $50,000 bounty.
Yep. I'm claiming it.
$50,000 bounty on Jake. First person to turn him in. $50K. That's a lot of Culvers, Jake. That's a lot of Culvers. $50K. All right.
I'm turning him in. He's already at Culvers.
Yeah.
I called it.
Israeli escape plan incoming. That's right. Mossad's going to extract him. They'll get him out of there. I believe you. What is Cloud Defensing doing now?
Oh, they're taking pre-orders for stuff.
For another rifle light.
Yeah.
150 is a good price, but it's got to be made in China.
Well,
they just gave
great
up.
if they ever give it to you.
Pre-order price. It might as well be zero, right? That's right. Wisconsin on 420 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, heading towards Culver's. That's right. And a white van, free candy painted on the side. Very obvious. Not a great getaway vehicle, Jake. Not a great getaway vehicle. All right. Chud for 2 says Richard Gassy. Also, more towers in chat, please. Thank you for that, Chud. Huge Ass for 5 says women, Australian, cops. None of these things make any sense together. Man, Australia used to be cool, dude. Turn of the century, not this century, last century, 20th century. Used to be a cool place, right? Used to be a cool place. Cool people. Thank you, Hugh Jazz. Lightsport for 2 says, please do a full topic on Redoubt about porn. I mean, it's a heavy topic, but it's one that should be discussed. Now, the solution is easy. Just ban all of it and kill all pornographers, right? That's the solution. Oh, but people will still find it online. Who cares? Who cares? We'll limit it as much as humanly possible. We'll stigmatize it as much as humanly possible.
What I don't understand is why outlaw prostitution so heavily, but it's legal if you pay her and record it and put it online. How is that?
Yeah, it's different. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Well, it's because as Axegrind comes in and says, pornography is a weapon and it's working. The pornographers must be held accountable. The pornographers must pay. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, in certain third world countries, when they just have executions for the drug dealers, miraculously drug use goes down. It's like really weird how that works when you just execute the drug dealers. The supply goes down. It's weird. Weird how that works, right? All it takes is blowing up a few boats in the Pacific, and now, people don't want to do it anymore for some reason. Thank you, Axegrind. Appreciate that. Charlie Kirk hard style, which is bad phrasing. Here we go. FRGA hard style, because Moonman wants to hear the hard style edit. So here we go.
He stood unshaken, a voice in the storm, a man of conviction, a heart reborn. He spoke the truth when the cost was high. He lived for Jesus, unafraid to die. We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame, we'll fly.
All right, that's enough of that.
The eagle, the flaming eagle.
The
goes hard
flaming
with that.
eagle is very funny. We are Jake's dogs. True. Thank you, Moonman. Appreciate that. Vandalite for 2 says they hate the Catholic Church because of its founder, Jesus Christ. Although I'm sorry, Vandalite, that would be the Orthodox Church, not the Catholic Church. All right. That was a first millennium accretion. Okay. Thank you, Art Vandalite. I'll start the Orthodox and Catholics fighting each other. Moonman for 2 says, stay strapped. Remember, I am out there. True. Federal agent is always around the corner. Chud for 2 says, built like Incredible Gassy. You're not wrong, Chud. Thank you, Chud. Hope you're doing well. Polly B says, R.E. Brown University, I see the shadow of CRS, the Community Relations Service who systematically hid POC on white crime for decades. Well, that's the thing, too, that we don't really talk about, is that they're lying about everything. Like when even you see the statistics, like black people commit like 56% of all homicides in the US. But you see the people that are counted as white, right? Just everywhere. Like one shade off of pitch black is counted as white in some of these cases. And it's like, even still, with all of this misappropriation and lying of who's actually committing crimes, you're still committing over 50% of the crimes. So surely the real numbers are even worse. And that's why they hide it from you. That's why they lie to you. Because if they came out and said, oh yeah, by the way, 6% of the population commits 85% of the violent crimes in America, they'd be like, oh, the normie would look at that and there's something that they would have to rationalize within themselves and be like, oh, this is actually a problem. How do we fix this? How do we fix black people? Just a complicated question, all right? Yeah, no, and I agree. No, actually, I have a stat for you. I have a perfect stat. I had this pulled up, ready to go. Where'd I put it? Look at this. Look at this. Interracial violent incidents per capita of offending race. White on black, 30 per 100,000. Hispanic on black, 76 out of 100,000. White on Hispanic, which I actually find funny that white people are more aggressive to Hispanics than they are to black people. I find that interesting.
Well, have you ever had your lawn messed up, sir?
No. That's funny. It's funny. Black on Hispanic, huge jump. Hispanic on white, 6 times the white on Hispanic. Black
The lawn
on
dies
white.
Fight back.
Black on white. That is 40 times. 42, almost 43 times black on white violence versus white on black.
What is that? Does that say 1488? No,
1288. It's close. It's
1288.
close.
I'm sorry.
They're working on it. I mean, shoot. Do I have to pull up the other graph? Violent crime demographic.
Point to the graph.
Let me show you the graph again. Well, I mean, and again, another thing about Asian people, violent crime demographics. There should be a really quick video about this. Where is it? Violent crime per capita.
I'll be right back.
You're good. But no, and this is the thing that they don't want. They absolutely want to suppress and not tell you. Make sure that you are unaware of that sort of thing. Violent crime per capita, black, white, and Asian. Because remember when Ilhan Omar said you needed to be afraid of black people or something, or white people, right? Right. So blacks against whites 11.6, whites against blacks 0.038, ratio 31-1. 31 more times black on white than white on black per capita. Great. Great. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Don Dogs for 2 says, I carry a signed copy of Mein Kampf when on campus. Okay. I don't know what that would do to prevent a mass shooting or mass casualty, but that's interesting. Mark 2 mod 1 for 5 says, just got here, will watch the VOD in light of Silencer Shop's terrible customer service. I gotta ask, customer service, AI, or Indians, which one's worse? Indians are the worst, because Indians are a bioweapon, sir. They pollute your gene pool, pollute your streets, pollute your healthcare system, pollute your schools, your neighborhoods, your communities. Whereas AI, you can turn the computer off. Customer service, well, that's hard to get around. But Indians are definitely the worst. Lightsport for 2 says 40K on names. Yeah, the Black Lotus. I mean, the Black Lotus would be a cool name in a different context, but for these guys, it's kind of gay. It's definitely a little gay. Samurai Boy for 2 says, shaking my head. Leftists are so bad at terror, so trackable. They just do a little silly. Samurai Boy for 5 says, their entire theory makes no sense. Also, the noble savage is so dumb and takes away from their skills and reputation as warriors and fighters. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you want to say, like, the Aztecs had a really big empire. They managed to conquer a lot of neighboring tribes and hold wide swaths of land, which is what allowed the conquistadors to take them over, as they essentially were like, oh, you guys are ruling pretty ruthlessly this huge region, and these other tribes, they don't like you very much. So, hey guys, do you want to like help us to overthrow the Aztecs? And they were like, yes, please. We would love to be out from under these ruthless warriors who managed to conquer us. Absolutely. So when you look at the numbers, it's like 1,500 conquistadors up against 250,000 Aztecs. They're like, that seems wrong. It's like, yeah, because they had 100,000 natives with them. Right. And so, yeah, you use the native population under the boot of the current empire to overthrow it. Pretty easy to do. And also, you lose a lot less conquistadors that way. Lightsport for 2 says, should have watched GT's evasion videos. That's true. How to evade drones in the desert. Which I feel like the desert sucks for that, dude. Like out here in South Dakota, everything is so flat. Like, how are you supposed to get away from drones or evade them? There's no woods. There's no forests. There's no hills or mountains or caves, you know? It's like, it's pretty open. So it's kind of miserable. Thank you, Lightsport. Zany Cove for 1, sorry. Says hi, hope you're doing well, Zany. Appreciate that, sir. Appreciate the memes as well. Lightsport for 2 says, Desert Rat, come get your wife/cousin. I think referring to AMR. AMR is an Indian defender, all right, which is fine. Just chill. Thank you for that, Lightsport. SDK Rapscallion for 5 says, on a scale of 1 trench grenade Two trench grenades, sorry. How we're started is cutting a 14.5 H-bar barrel down to 12.5 for a 12.5 mid gas. Planning on tuning it to run a KK as well. Well, here's the thing with that, SDK. Usually speaking, it is just as expensive to cut down a 14.5 to a 12.5 as it is to just buy a 12.5 mid. So you can get a 12.5 mid from, I want to say Roscoe's now making one, but CAC is making one, KAK. I know that Triarch is making a 12.5 mid. I've used both of their 12.5 mids. They're both pretty good. They're not heavy barrels. But there are other 12.5 mids that are out there that are probably about the same cost as getting a 14.5 cut down. And then you have a 14.5 and a 12.5, right? Now, if you have a buddy that's going to cut it down for $99, that's fine. Now, personally, I don't love 12.5 heavy barrels. 11.5s and 12.5s, if they're not some sort of like mini IAR build or something like that, I don't prefer the heavy barrels. But for you, if you like it, it's what you want, go for it, dude. You might as well, right? This is your money, bro. Zandico for 5 says, show the gram pic I just sent. I did send it. It was very funny. I hope that they arrest Jake shortly and justice is dispensed upon him. Inshallah. Polly B for 5 says, press S to spit on Reagan's amnesty. People don't like it. Boomers love Reagan. But Reagan put us here in this position, both with gun control and with amnesty for illegal aliens.
Gotta love that machine gun.
Thanks, Reagan. Lightsport for 2 says, Minecraft all these quote-unquote people. I'm coming up with the peaceful solution option in my head. So we have to make things so miserable for these people when they step out of line, and we have to come down so hard with the iron foot of justice on these people that they willingly deport themselves or suffer the consequences of their actions. I think that's the kindest option. Moonman for 2 says the target neutralizing device would be fun, also simple and enjoyable. Actually, yeah, Uncle OG just had a video today on his target neutralizing device, his Goon Special rifle. It's very funny. Thank you, Moonman. Bojangles for 10 says, maybe this is a hot take, but I did not really feel bad because these people actively vote for this and allow cops to enforce shit laws that actively prevent you from defending yourself from them. Well, see, this is a thing too. In a democratic system, you do kind of allow these people to do this to you, right? You kind of do give them consent in a weird way, which is it's like the Faustian bargain, right? It's like if you look into like demonology and some of this other stuff, if we want to go esoteric, you always have to allow it in. It never forces its way in. You have to allow it to happen in a way. And so in this democratic system, if you vote for some of this stuff, you can't necessarily say that you're not, some of the blood is not also on your hands because you are participating in the system that allows these things to happen. So, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It's when a leftist cries, like I saw that that retard Finkelstein, right? Me mum's a lampshade dude. Was like, London's just not safe anymore for people like me. I just don't feel safe in my own neighborhood. It's like, really? Maybe you shouldn't have imported the unsafe neighborhoods into your country, all right? It's like people like, yeah, what's it? Dublin and Ireland, it's like 40% immigrants. And it's like, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And I'm not sure why. It's like, crime is up. It's so unsafe. My children don't want to go to school here. I just don't know what happened. What could it be? I'm so confused.
They got rid of the spicy parked cars. That's what happened.
Well, they'll make a comeback. Me mum had an anvil dropped on her head. Lightsport for 2 says, use the Charlie Kirk song for a stream intro. No. It's we only do based intro songs around here. Okay. Thank you, Lightsport. Maybe I would reword the lyrics to be like, we are Jake's toes or Jake's dogs. That would be funny. I could do that. Moonman for 10 says, play that thing I sent you for the outro. Also, yes, past tense pornography studios and distribution centers. Also, this is my first time being subjected to this Charlie Kirk thing. LMAO. I just knew it existed. Let me pull it up here. Okay. It's not. All right, let me pull this up. Fine. Let's see what this is. See what this is, Moon Man. Uh-oh, no. I should probably listen to this first. Give me a second. I am not gonna. Nope, I'm gonna remove that real fast.
Don't make that mistake twice.
All right, Moon Man would send me this. All right, I think this is fine. It's just cringe. Moon Man, you are so cringe, dude. But for $10, the chat gets to call you cringe as well, okay?
I'm such a fat fucking chud.
We are Charlie
All right, wow, whoa. You should pay way more for 20 seconds of that. That hurt my head. That was painful. That was painful. Of course. Emoko's, oh, look, an anime girl. That's so cute. I'm totally not 400 pounds. Thank you, Emoko. Yeah, check that guy's hard drive. Hey, check that guy's hard drive. Charlie Twerk. All right, fair enough.
Your impersonation voices, it appears the one on the top of the list is now Elmo.
Oh, was that Elmo or Mickey?
Oh, maybe that was Mickey. Mickey
I don't
or
know.
Elmo. Sounded very, very close to both.
Check that guy's hard drive. Anything goes. VT over on Rumble says, I'm getting an SBR in 1911 and it's going to be awesome. All right, bro. Good luck with that. Thank you
If
over
it's
there on
old
Rumble.
enough, you don't have to.
Yeah. What's the cutoff date? 80 years, 75 years, right?
Well, if it was initially issued with a stock and all that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. We all have AIDS now. True. Chud over on Ko-Fi says they're lucky they weren't wiped off the face of the planet. Indians suck. They contribute nothing and are a drain on resources. I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert, Chud, but the only two groups in society that are a positive on the tax code are whites and Asians. And by Asians, I mean East Asians. Please don't insult me with the other ones. That's it. Those are the only people that are positive, net positive on the tax code. They contributed nothing and are a drain on resources. Maybe invent a written language or the effing wheel, and you can pretend it was quote unquote stolen. Yeah, Conquest is based, so I don't know what to tell you about that. Like it happens, dude. Chud again over on there says the incompetence of the women officers and Australian officers in general is insane. Just kill the ones that are the other color. How hard is that for them to do? Also, is your FedEx guy no, dude? Please, Chud. Our FedEx delivery drivers are only white. All right, please. I suffer not a brown to deliver my packages.
I did, and I almost pulled him out of this truck the other day. But that's a story
Although
for
I think
another
it
day.
is okay. So over here we have about a foot of snow right now, and yesterday or 2 days ago it was -9, and then today it was a little bit warmer. So I think
Yeah,
they're
they
having
don't
trouble.
like that kind of stuff.
They're having trouble delivering their packages. So I am fingers crossed, Chud, that it's here tomorrow, so I can ship it off tomorrow as I am leaving, because I'm also flying out. No stream on Wednesday. Maybe Thursday, definitely Friday, but no stream on Wednesday for us. That was it.
Did you
That
get
was
hit with that 8 or 9 inches of snow?
Yeah, we did. We got that. And then it snowed like a little bit. It snowed like an inch here, 2 inches there, something like that. So we have about a foot in total.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are. Richard, what do you got going on, Holmes?
Hopefully not getting snowed in and iced into my house again. My both of my doors were frozen shut this morning. It was a good time.
Our front door doesn't work. Because
Yeah.
of how cold the house shifts and contracts because it's so cold out, and then it gets so windy.
Mine, it's got an inch of ice on the front of it. But no, tomorrow I've got let's see what video is.
You got
coming out tomorrow.
the
Nick
gun
Fuentes.
control Nick Fuentes coming out.
Yeah, which he's an interesting one. I don't think he really has a legitimate 2A take because he lives in Chicago, so he doesn't have rights anyway. But
I also
It
just
was
don't
an
think he
interesting
cares. He's a
He doesn't.
self-obsessed. He's not a self-obsessed. Sorry, he's a self-admitted politics obsessed whore. Right? That's what he loves to do. That's what he does day in and day out. That's all he talks about. So it's more for him. It's
I
Second
thought he
Amendment's
talked
not his
about
thing.
Catboy pussy.
Well, he talks with Catboys. It's different. I
I
mean,
thought he
I hope he
talked
doesn't
in
talk about them.
Catboys.
No. Oh gosh. Moonman for 5 says, I just heard Richard suffers a brown to handle his package, and Ruff handles the brown. Well, there's serious allegations there, good sir.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. All right. And Focus Tracks, I'll link that in the description or in the comments as well. I'll also put the Discord in there because I'm feeling nice. Let's see. Oh, I actually didn't see that. Interesting. Thank you for that, Noob Crastinator. I didn't realize that they had their pseudonyms were also gay and retarded. Many such cases. All right. The link to join the Discord server is in the chat right now. You should get in there. You should figure out how to make it through. I'm sure everybody in the chat is smart enough to figure that out, how to pass the test. It's one question. You could do it. I believe in you. Maybe you haven't taken a test since you flopped out of high school, but I think you can do it to get in the Discord. I have faith in you. All right, gentlemen. Yeah, Richard, you already did your outro. You're good, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. With all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you Thursday or Friday. And with all that out of the way, gentlemen, have a great night. And
Good night, guys.
God bless.
I'm lost by the sea, I'm learning to breathe. It's blinding